What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see ya. WC. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Oh, I feel like it's been forever since we've streamed. It kind of has. We have gotten so many spoilers. We missed Thursday for double spoilers. Then we always miss Mondays during spoiler season. So I'm excited to be back. It's been a minute, and wow, is this set gonna be insane. Like, oh my goodness, what is going on with this set? Hey, White Knight Grim, Code Mix, Helichrome, King Sharks, how are you? ADK Mark, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. God tells me that Wandering Archaic can be used to great effectiveness against Storm Reanimator. Yeah, I mean, no, I guess maybe it could be, although, like, do you have better options? Do you need to play a 5-mana 4/4 to fight against Storm? Or is there really nothing better in Legacy that's colorless? I guess that would be my question. I actually don't know. Oh, so how is everyone today? Good to see ya. We're going to play some Historic. We got some Historic fun to play. And of course, talking new spoilers, which is always one of my favorite things to do. There's videos on the YouTube, blah, 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 blah. You and Vince argue on Twitter about Streak Protector was delightful. Streak Protector makes me so sad. You were probably here for this stream when we were going through Marrow's previews. We're going through Marrow's, like, spoilers, and it said, whenever a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability to trigger ... which is Panharmonicon text. It was supposed to be Panharmonicon, but no, of course, it's actually hosing Panharmonicon, which, although I actually do kind of like the card in another way, it can do some sweet shenanigans with, like, stifling your Lotus Field or whatever, so there are cool things to do, or stifling your bounce land or something. So there are some sweet shenanigans with the card, although it is a pretty hard counter to Panharmonicon. The newest card, you want a hot take, and I don't even know if this take is hot, but Clever Luminancer, that cannot be possibly correct. These names, Wizards, I swear they do it just to make me say them. This card is ridiculous. Best card in the set for older formats that we've seen so far. I think I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now. This card is legitimately, so scary. It's like a double Monastery Swiftspear. It's like a 1-mana Kiln Fiend. I don't even know what to say. Like, I can't believe this card is an actual card that they played. Like, okay, think about this. Think about you're playing Modern. Have you ever played Modern? Have you ever seen the Blitz decks, the Prowess decks, that are like Manamorphoses, Lava Darts, Mutagenic Growth, just like any free spell. It's just a 1-mana 0/1 that has Magecraft, so whenever you cast or copy instant or sorcery, it's +2/+2. But picture this, you're playing some Modern, you're playing one of those Blitzy Prowess decks, you play this on turn 1, turn 2 you untap, you go Mutagenic Growth, Temur Battle Rage. That's lethal. That's 20 damage. And that might sound Magical Christmas Land, and that exact star is a little Magic Christmas Land. But when you consider that you also have Lava Darts, and you also have random storm spells like Ground Rift, and you also have Manamorphoses, like, there are a lot of ways that you can turn this into just a 2-turn kill, like a second turn one-shot kill creature. Like, I think this card's insane. Like, It's what Kiln Fiend wanted to be. Kiln Fiend's 2 mana. This is 1 mana. This has basically the same math as Kiln Fiend, except it's 1 mana, so you can do it all on turn 2 instead of turn 3. This card, Historic, Modern, Pioneer. It's also a Wizard, which matters for Wizard's Lightning and Historic Bird decks. So yeah, that card is legitimately absolutely frightening. And I think how are you feeling about the set? Like, how are you feeling about the set, everyone? Now that we've started to see some cards. No worries, Alcazar. Glad to have you. Yeah, you can do Nemagus Elemental. Maybe that'll return. If you want to see the spoiler videos, they're on the YouTube. Reminder number 1, you can find them there. Also, Replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. And while we're at it, let's just get it out of the way. Let's get it out of the way now. Our sponsor today, Card Kingdom. If you need to pre-order some Strixhaven, they got it in stock. Even the full extended border editions. So head over to cardkingdom.com if you want a Scoop Soldier sticker. Just let them know you want one. They're super nice. They'll hook you up with one for free. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Otherwise, merch page, tokens, t-shirts, playmats, good way to support the stream and the channel and the site. Donations, always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. And yeah, I think that's our reminders. Oh man, this set, I am really hyped for this set. I'm hyped for this set for a bunch of reasons. I mean, even if the main set was absolutely horrible, and it's not, the main set's really sweet, the Mystic Archives are going to be insane for Historic. Like, I am so excited for what Historic's going to be like. But the main set, they're really powering up White and Boros. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it. Just like with Green, everyone's like, oh, Boros is bad. It needs to be more interesting. And all of a sudden, we're getting 1-mana Kiln Fiends. We're getting, like, insane card advantage. Where's the uncommon from yesterday? Which is just, like, my jaw kind of dropped that was a Boros card. Oh, this one. Reconstruct History. 4 mana, return an artifact, enchantment, instant, sorcery, and planeswalker. 5 cards from your graveyard to your hand. That's a 4 mana draw 5 in Boros. Yeah, you need your graveyard, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, they really are. One of my favorite cards from the set, oh man, Hoffrey. This card is so ridiculous. Hoffrey, ignore the Spirit Lord text, but it makes it so when your creatures die, they come back as the same creature in token form, except they're a spirit, so then you benefit from the Lord text. So your creatures come back, the same creature as a token, with +1/+1 trample and haste. This card seems so insane. Yeah, they're going to town on Boros and really powering it up. There's tons of sweet spells. There's this thing. I haven't even got to read all this thing yet. I don't even know if it's good. Kind of like a Demon at Death's Gate sorcery that gets cheaper if you sacrifice stuff. This set is so sweet. Oh, the new Is It Dragon is so powerful. So yeah, we got tons of stuff to talk about as we go along, because we've already got a ton of spoilers and there's a ton more to go. So, oh, they spoiled a blue-red X spell that looks awesome. Let me see if is it up yet. All right, I will find it real quick. I haven't seen it yet. You'll get the fresh reaction, and then I promise we are actually gonna play Magic. Blue-red X spell. Ooh, all right. Accumulation of Studies. Accumulation of Studies. So let's see what this is. 1 red, 1 blue, and X. Sorcery. Exile the top X cards of your library. For each land exiled this way, create a treasure token. For each blue card exiled this way, draw a card. For each red card exiled this way, deals a damage to each opponent. That's actually super sweet. That actually seems relatively powerful. So let's say you cast this in a typical deck, that your colors are split. You cast it, I don't know, X5 maybe? People can do that. That's like ultimatum price. You're maybe like getting, I don't know, let's say X6, and you get 2 treasures, draw 2 damage. Yeah, you probably need it to be more than that. I guess you need to make a ton of mana. You need to like mana double and really go deep with this card. And then it seems absolutely insane. I do like the treasure mode. We're getting more and more treasure payoffs, which I think is a good thing. So Rowan and Kendall's, we haven't seen Ob Nixilis yet. Is Ob Nixilis in the set? I don't even know. The Elder Dragons are sweet. Multiple choice is really sweet. Like, so much about this set is sweet. I don't know. People are asking about the colorless sorceries. I don't know. I think that they're powered down enough that they're not going to really matter too much. That is my initial thought, that they're powered down enough that they're not going to break anything. It looks like the leaks are fake. I think we would have seen Jin Gitaxias or whatever if it was going to be in the set. So what's your number 1 card? And then we'll talk about Magic. Then we talk about spoilers as we go along. I'm sure there'll be more coming out as we are streaming. I think for me right now, the Is It Elder Dragon seems really absurd in Standard. Like, it's on rate. It curves with Goldspan Dragon. We already have Treasure Matters stuff. We already have some Dragon Matters stuff. I think that card's really, really strong. Shaddix, I think, is awesome for Commander. I am skeptical that I would want to cast it in Standard, but it seems like an amazingly fun commander to build around. Magma Opus is pretty interesting. I mean, it's obviously powerful. I want to Mizzix Mastery it, or like Torrential Gear Hulk it. I don't know about just casting it for 8 mana. I guess it's fine if you got the mana, but 8 mana is a lot. The new black rare spoiled today is super strong. Oh, the removal spell? Baleful Domain, instant speed 4 mana, exile a creature or planeswalker, or you can pay 2 mana and let your opponent draw a card. Yeah, that definitely seems pretty powerful. Yeah, Exis seems like a really spicy commander to build around. Like, you can have sorceries in your command zone now. Can you imagine that? You can have a sorcery as your commander. This seems ridiculous. Yeah, this set is just, it's sweet. It is super sweet. But that's for the future. We can talk about it more as we go along. Today, we are historicing, and we got a couple of different options that we're starting with. So I think we're starting with Reflectamentals, which draws a lot of cards and plays a card that I've been wanting to build around that we haven't actually played yet. So we have Reflectamentals. We'll talk about that one in a minute because that's our first deck. Biddlin, welcome to the Fishbowl. I'm doing wonderful this fine Tuesday. I'm hyped for new Magic cards and streaming for the first time in a couple of days. So welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. As backup decks, we have Green-White Legends, which kind of interesting. So we got some Mox Amber action, a bunch of Legends. Seems kind of spicy. I haven't seen a deck like this before, so that's a backup possibility. Also, Historic Cycling, a deck I've been using to rank up with a bit, and I don't know if this would be entertaining on stream. That's the main reason I haven't committed to playing it on stream, because most of the game you just sit there and cycle. And then you cycle, and then you cycle some more, and then eventually you Zenith Flare them and they die. So it feels like not much is happening most of the time because you're just cycling through your deck, but it's actually like, I've had a lot of success with this deck. I think I'm like 15-1 now, and ranked up most of the way, almost to Mythic with the deck over the weekend. Dark Puka, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. However, oh yeah, we'll definitely be discussing spoilers. That's going to be a big topic for today. Why only 3 Flameblade? Actually, honestly, I hate Flameblade in this deck. I'm very tempted to cut it. It's usually the first card I sideboard out. The problem I have with Flameblade is against creature decks, your opponent can usually block it. Against control decks, they can usually kill it. And it has a really bad habit of when you're cycling and chaining cycling spells together to try to like get a hollow one down or to Zenith Flare, that you draw like 2 of these in a row and it fizzles your cycling, and then you get really, really sad. So it can be explosive, but yeah, I actually think it's one of my least favorite cards in the entire deck. But what are we starting with today? Oh my god. We are Reflectamentaling. So Jim Davis has been messing around with the elemental deck. This is what the inspiration came from. This is not Jim's list, but he's been playing LO Elementals or something like that, I think he calls it. So I was thinking, I've always wanted to try to make Reflections of Littjara work. Reflections of Littjara looks like such a potentially powerful card, like a free copy of each of your creature. The problem is you gotta be tribal, and then you gotta be a tribe that doesn't have a lot of legends. And you also have to be a tribe that has good enter the battlefield triggers, I think, for the most part. So it felt like, after seeing Jim's elemental deck, I was like, wow, elementals are the perfect tribe. The perfect tribe to take advantage of Reflections of Littjara. Like, Risen Reef? Who wouldn't want more Risen Reefs? Realmwalker, fine to be doubled. Omnath, sure at Legend rules, but you get a bunch of damage. Cavalier of Thorns for a ton of ramp. And one of the hilarious things that the deck can do is once you get going, you have these landfall creatures, Brushfire Elemental and Acume Hellhound, and then you play creatures off the top of your deck with Realmwalker, and then you put lands into play for free with Risen Reef, so you get these weird combo turns where you get a whole bunch of like Risen Reefs going, and then you just kind of like make the biggest Brushfire Elementals in history and smash your opponent to death with them, which is absolutely ridiculous. So, Resculpt, wait, no, Blue Artifact Hate. Oh, no, is this a new card? Did I miss it? Resculpt Card Kingdom spoiler. Is this gonna make me salty? All right. Well, I mean that does exile an artifact. I am not super comfortable with that. Although I will say, in this case, there's a big enough of a drawback that I'd be surprised if a lot of people played this. Like, if you're really desperate in Commander, I think maybe you can get by with it, sort of like a worse version of, I don't know, Beast Within or something. But a 4/4 is that's a big drawback. I almost think this is, when I read this card, this one doesn't really offend me. I almost think this is made to be used on your own stuff. Like someone said treasure token, but you like make a treasure token and then you use a resculpt to upgrade it into an elemental and like get them. I think is the idea of the card. So honestly, this one doesn't really offend me. This feels more like a polymorph style effect or something. Part of the problem I had with Raven form is Raven form, it was efficient, and it's only giving your opponent a 1/1. Like, blue does kind of do the, like, kill your thing but give you something else. Kind of like polymorph. Like, that is kind of what it goes back to, the transformation thing. So, I think part of the problem was you were just giving your opponent something so meaningless with a 1/1 flyer that it felt, I don't know. That one felt pretty bad to me, but I think this one is. I think this one is fine. My goodness, the spoilers—they just keep rolling out. But anyway, let's do some elementaling. Let's see if this even works. I've only got to play a couple of games with it. See, can Reflections of Littjara actually be good? And as we go along, if you see new spoilers, if you want my opinion on spoilers, if you want to talk about Strixhaven or anything else, let me know because I'm totally down to talk new Magic cards. Yeah, Realmwalker, when I was looking at Jim's list, Realmwalker, I don't really like the 2-drop that pumps your elementals. It's a little, I don't want to be aggressive. I want to make a bunch of Risen Reefs and mill myself out. I don't want to kill people. I'm not that kind of elemental player. But yeah, Realmwalker seemed perfect. Well, we got Realmwalkers. I think we're up against Sacrifice. Could be Bird. Well, we'll try it. We'll try it. Yeah, I finally opened my vaults because I needed 2 Heart of Kirans, and I did not have Heart of Kirans. So yes, I opened my vaults to get the last 2 Heart of Kirans I needed. I'm so Insane Crusties. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. That's an interesting question. How do we do this? Play the land. We can't kill a Mayhem Devil next turn anyway. Yeah, let's just chip in for a bit of damage. Hit ya. So, all right. Is Cardboard Live not on? Oh, that's my bad. Oh no, I'm gonna get so yelled at. Avert your eyes, chat. Avert your eyes. The desktop is it's spoiler season. It's spoiler season. In my defense, it's spoiler season. There's lots of card images that need to be downloaded and uploaded. After spoiler season wraps up, I promise, I will clean it up. I will make my desktop dump folder and dump everything in it and forget that it ever existed. So give it time. Give it time. Folders take an extra click. I actually want data. I want hard data on how many minutes or hours of a person's life they spend opening folders. Because I bet that number is higher than you expect. And then 60 years from now, when I'm on my deathbed, at least I will not look back and think, man, I wasted so much time opening folders. Lustful James, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup here for you. Thank you. I mean, that's kind of my same theory when it comes to making beds. I've never understood the concept of making beds. Like, I don't know, sure, it doesn't take you that long, but you spend a couple of minutes a day making a bed, and there's 365 days in a year, and you live like, I don't know, 70, 80 years or something. If you add that up, that's ridiculous. That's so much of your life that's going to do something so boring and meaningless. Why? And what's the upside? Like, what is the benefit of a bed opening? I've never really understood that. Well, let's play this Leafkin Druid. We probably should have played the Floral Hedron last turn, I guess, as a land. We have new subscribers, Lustful Jeans, and also Armored Bishop, and Jesse Doyle. My apologies. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. Big soup for you. Thank you. Oh, why bother putting clothes in the dresser? Opening it takes so much time. I mean, that is kind of true. What's the matter with the pile on the floor technique? Yeah? About it. Going attacking. The power level has been picking up, I think, the last couple of days. I mean, dressers are one thing, but that actually is... Can we kill this Mayhem Devil? They can sack... Well, I think we gotta go for it. Play the land. Oh, I want to do fun things, but there's a Mayhem Devil. Alright. Play Omnath. Kill the Mayhem Devil. Alright, opponent just sacks the food. Okay. How does our opponent get out of this without sacking their board, though? Oh, alright. They're just sacking everything. Well, let's... Please let me tap this for mana. Please let me tap this for mana. Arena, you are the worst. Oh, why? Why could I? Oh, now I can tap it for mana. I see. Oh, why, Arena? Why? Oh, that's so brutal. Well, okay, we get to play our Tangled Floral Hedron, I guess. Unfortunately, we don't get to also keep our Realm Walker. Gutter Snipes, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. I didn't realize they had to go into full control for that, honestly. I just assumed that it... I don't know. I guess I haven't figured out why you get to stop on some triggers and not on others. I've never actually figured that out. Still want Modern on Arena. Yeah, I still want Modern on Arena. I would also like Arena. Oh boy, I would also like Arena to improve. That would also be good. But I still would like. Come on now. Oh, I really dislike the sack deck. All right, sure. Historic is weird. If it wasn't for if there was not Strixhaven coming, I would probably be having conversations about what needs to be banned in the format, probably starting with the Sacrifice deck. However, as it sits, with Strixhaven coming and potentially shaking up the format, yeah, all right, sure. Well, that was fun. I'm kind of willing to wait and see if that takes care of it. Well, we get Yasharns for days. We get Grafdigger's Cages. We actually have a lot of cards to fight our opponent's archetype. We can even bring in a Braids. Probably go down Hellhound, which seems likely to die to Mayhem Devils. Go down a Cavalier of Thorns and a Tangled Floral Hedron. Something like that. Chandra could also be worthwhile. Maybe we need Chandras. Let's bring in Chandra, go down one Reflection, and one Realm Walker. Something like that. Like Elemental Control-ish. Yeah, Gust would be good too. I'm just not sure what else to cut. We've already brought in so many cards. I think Tier 1... Mortgage Shards, great. Grafdigger's Cage, good, very good. A Braid seems, I think, better than Gust. Yeah, Brushfire will die, but we still need some number of elementals, because our deck, like Risen Reef, Omnath, Reflections, they all need elementals. Realm Walker to do things. So I feel like we got to keep a certain number. Hey, the Litibo, I appreciate your advice. Covert Go Blue, I'm sure does pretty sweet streams, but I think everyone has gotten the message, at least for the time being. So maybe in like a half hour or something, if new people come in, share it again. But probably every other message might be a little excessive. Pronounced? Oh no. I've been dreading this. The Obstinate deck looks fun. We played the Mardu version not that long ago, and it was sweet. No lands, no keep. Well, 2 Yasharns, yes, we will keep. Yasharn is like the single best card that we can have against our opponent's deck, and we have 2 of them. Oh, I've been putting it off. I've been putting off trying to pronounce. You don't want me to pronounce it, really, do you? I think I can do it. Cody. It's Cody. It's easy. Easy one. Cody. Vacafarius? Vacafurnius. Oh my. Codex. Cody Codex. I think you just leave out the middle word. I mean, everyone's just going to call it Cody anyway. Vocerius. That can't be that. Vocerius. You're all giving me different pronunciations. Alright, Omnath to the bottom. Tapland, go. Opponent. Cody's sweet. I mean, I don't know if it's possibly too nice, is it? Get pinged. Yeah, let's just tap land go. Opponent. Did I give a hot take on Exius? Yeah, Exis. Oh, still not going. All right. I don't think so. That's one that came out after I did daily spoilers, so I actually haven't got a super good look at it yet. I read it over slightly, and it's one of those cards where it's like, oh my god, it has so much text that I bookmarked it. I figured I'd get to the backside of it in the future when I had some more reading time. You're underwhelmed by the Izzet Dragon, really? I really liked it. I think Izzet Dragon is one of my favorite cards for Standard in specific. All right, there's a Woe Strider. Well, thankfully, it is Yasharn time. Fabled Passage. Oh, I hope I put a Plains in this deck. I must have. I wouldn't make a mistake like that, would I? Hopefully not. Favorite card from Strixhaven so far. So discounting Mystic Archives. Alright, there's our Plains. Yasharn. Take that, sack deck. Sack us, will ya? We get a Forest, which is something. Pass the turn. Favorite card is tough. There's a lot of cards I really like. Grinning Angus is maybe the card I'm most excited to build around, honestly. Grinning Angus seems insane. That's the card. I don't know if we've talked about it enough. I might have to do... Alright, opponent. Well, thankfully we have more Yasharns. Plays a land, goes attacking, blah, blah, blah. That is kind of annoying. Well, Yashard number 2. Kind of unfortunate that we couldn't play a single other creature this entire game. So our opponent was able to edict our Yasharn, because we've done nothing so far this game, but we're down to 10. If they can kill this Yasharn too, oh, life is so not... Really? Oh, that's ridiculous. Oh. Opponent's drawn all the sideboard cards. Yeah, well, and that looks like the game. Well, we'll see. I mean, presumably in another couple weeks, Storm will be wrecking this deck, and most of their cards will look much, much worse, and maybe it will no longer be a problem. AK Tank, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if there's already been conversations about Rakdos Sack needing to be hit by a banning. There's also been some interesting conversations. Have y'all been playing Historic? Hey, what's up, Sir Glorsworth? Have you been playing Historic at all? Because I've heard some people saying, and I've noticed this a little bit, that sometimes the queues are like surprisingly long. Because normally this is when everyone's playing Historic, because who wants to play Dead Standard like 2 weeks before a set release or whatever? But the queues have been pretty long sometimes, or sometimes you sit there for like a minute or two before you find a match. And I don't know if that's because like people are dislike the meta or if everyone's just liking standard or in limited, but it's kind of interesting. Azusa Omenkeel. That sounds spicy. Historic is super expensive and likely to get even more expensive now that Mystic Archives are a thing, unfortunately, and they're at much higher rarity than they need to be. That looks fun. I mean, Kasim is a powerful card. It works well with the ramp, and then Omenkeel can get you lands to ramp with. I don't know. I don't know about the Song of Creation in this deck. There's not really a way to restart, right? Is there any way to restart once you fizzle with Song of Creation? That would be the one card I'd be worried about. Or maybe play some like adventure cards to be able to, like, if you had some adventure cards, then you could discard your hand and restart the chain, which would help a little bit. But it looks like a fun idea. Can only see so many Mayhem Devils and Priests in a week. Yeah, I mean, it was what, 33% of the meta or something at the Kaldheim Championship? I feel like I played against a lot of blue-white control lately. Or blue-white X control. Ooh, shiny. Yeah, the time-shifted foils are ridiculously expensive. Thank you for the cheer, by the way. Talia, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We got to keep waiting. We get the rotation of Eldraine in the fall. So, September? Snow Red be great against... Wait, great against what? Did I watch the championship? I watched some of the historic rounds. Standard's not in a bad place right now, and I have fun playing it sometimes, but it's all the same stuff I've seen like 10 million times. So the standard top 8 was not something that was especially interesting to me. Oh, this might be tough. Well, hit you with a Hellhound. We gotta draw more Reflections. We have not done a good job of drawing Reflections of Littjara. Reflections, if we can get it down, is actually great counter protection, because even if they counter the original, we get the token copy. Ooh, Guru Mountain. That is a big purchase. That is awesome. Opponent, gonna go stomping. Well, I mean, I guess we run it out. We're not doing anything else at the moment. Ping ya. Oh, no Wrath. No Wrath. How about no Wrath for once? How are you feeling about that, opponent? I mean, they are an 80 card deck, so what are the odds they actually have it? I mean, standard can be repetitive in general, but I think this is even more... Oh, opponent's playing something different. But I feel like this standard is even more repetitive than usual. How do we not die? I'll play Leaf Kid. Untap land. Counter on Omnath. Attack. About it. Wow. All right, gonna block with everything. Sure. Well, we'll take Kahira past the turn. Mono Red Phoenix looks sweet. Faithless Looting's gonna change historic, I think. Dolly, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where does the new Boros Dragon go? Probably Commander would be my number one guess. Ooh. I do like Risen Reef. Risen Reef. Mm, yeah, we will continue to kill ourselves. Omnath. Kill the Bone Crusher. Draw Brush Fire. All right, no Wraths. No Wrath. Maybe our opponent's not playing Wraths. This is bad, Omnath. Or unbanned. Not bad, but less broken. The new Boros Dragon. I'm honestly not sure where. Ooh, wow. Okay, we're gonna untap with Risen Reef. That's a thing. We will not complain about that. Brush Fire Elemental. Get a land out of the way. Pump. Kahira. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent. Blocks Risen Reef. Well, oh my goodness, we could have pumped it again. That's my fault. For some reason, I guess I was thinking the Risen Reef land was a land that we played, but it was not. The Druid attack is intentional because I would rather cycle Triomes than get in for 2 here. Binary Man, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Opponent, Prophetic Prism. Wait, that gives Vigilance? Huh. I don't play Kahira decks, so it's alright. I guess we should have attacked. I honestly didn't. Too much text. It's at the very bottom. Vigilance. Okay, it has Vigilance. Companion. Each creature card in your starting deck is a cat, a nightmare, beast, or dinosaur. Each other creature that's a cat, nightmare, dinosaur, beast gets +1/+1. Okay, it has been read. Anything beyond that is excessive. Phone it. Getting more Legion Angels. Well, we will cycle. Oh, Realm Walker is decent here. Very decent. I'll play Realm Walker. On Elemental. Yes. Combo time. Brush Fire Elemental. Free land. Pump the Dorks. Hellhound. Fabled Passage. Pump the Dorks. Crack Fabled Passage. Shuffle. Pump the Dorks. Here we come. Cavalier of Thorns. Fabled Passage. Pump the Dorks. Crack Fabled Passage. I think we got him. I think we might get him. How about pumping the Dorks? Attack you a smidge. Wow. Oh, that was a turd. Imagine if we were doing that with Reflections of Littjara on the battlefield. If we had Reflections too, it would be so spectacular. Oh, what do I think I'd want, Cat King? Did I miss something? Pwn it. Oh my goodness, we're just punting on every level, aren't we? What do you do? Yes. I will accept the punt in this case. I have no defense other than if I wasn't talking to chat. I think it's your fault, chat. I was talking to all of you rather than paying attention. So I blame you. Nothing personal. I just blame you for all of my problems. Oh, let's have some fun. I'm just teasing you, chat. Don't scoop. This is gonna be painless, I promise. Risen Reef. Yeah, we'll put a land into play. Trigger some stuff. Draw. Reflections. So close. Realm Walker. Draw Reflections. On Elemental. Oh, we found it. Yes. And a land. Sure. Put it into play. Pump the Dorks. Reflections on Elemental. It's happening. Yes, 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 yes. Don't worry about it, vote it. Realm Walker. Copy Realm Walker with Reflections. 4 Risen Reef triggers. Oh, this is so fun. Do I play football? I do not. I would have liked to play football when I was younger, but my parents always thought it was, well, my mother in specific always thought it was too dangerous. She was not a football fan. So I never really played football. I don't know why people have such a hard time with winning more. Like, people say win more like it's a bad thing. How can it possibly be bad? Like, winning's good. So winning more should be even better, theoretically, right? Elemental. Couple of triggers. I mean, I don't think our opponent's literally dead, though. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, like, looking back on it, she was probably right. Reflections of Littjara is essentially our Panharmonicon. We just, instead of copying the ETB trigger, we just literally get another copy of the creature. Like, it's Panharmonicon. If you play a tribal deck, it is essentially better well, mostly better. It costs 1 more mana, but very close to just better Panharmonicon. Well, Triome. I guess we just attack with everything, see what happens. I don't want to attack with this Risen Reef. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm not going to attack with Risen Reef. Big attack. Hey, what's up, Sunthef? How are you? Good to see you. Recreation. I mean, I like football. I guess I played like two-hand touch and played. We used to call it. I think we called it kill the carrier when we were kids. Where basically, I don't even know. I guess it was just like a preteen aggression thing or whatever, where it was like kind of like football, but you just kind of like mashed whoever had the ball. There's not really any rules to it, so you just kind of like tackle and beat up the person that has the ball until they fumble it, and then the next person picks it up and it happens to them. Yeah. So we played some stuff like that. I'm continuing to nag you to build another budget mono green. Oh, pick him up, put him down. Yeah, I always just knew it as kill the carrier, but it was violence with football added. Essentially, there was not many rules to it. The whole point was just to kind of tackle your friends, I guess. No Zendikar Royal in this one. Not enough room. Well, that went shockingly well, I would say. Chandra seems decent. That kind of hits our opponent's entire board. Yasharn seems unnecessary. And try like that, I guess? I don't know what our opponent's doing. Something weird. Opponent definitely has the spice going. Do we have any new spoilers since we've started streaming? No. So what do you think about learn, chat? What do you think about the learn mechanic? Are you going to play another deck or do this the whole time? Which would you prefer, the Cat King? I mean, I have a couple of backup decks, so a lot of times we play like one for half the stream and another for half the stream. But this one actually seems pretty fun, so I guess we'll see. It really goes, I think, mostly on how much y'all are enjoying the deck, and then also how much I'm enjoying the deck. And if everyone's liking it, then maybe we just play the same deck. I think Learn is going to be amazing for Limited. And I also think, okay, chat, I trust you to tell me if I'm veering too far into conspiracy theories here. Okay, so what do you think of this theory of the Learn mechanic? And if you think it is tinfoil hat off the wall, don't be afraid to say so. All right, is the Learn mechanic simply a ploy by Wizards to get best of one players to have to spend 15 more wild cards to build a sideboard? Do you think that some suit at Hasbro was sitting around and were like, wait, we're pushing this best of one format real hard. It's like the most played format on Arena, and those players don't have to spend 15 wild cards to build a sideboard? We cannot let this stand. Mark Rosewater, get on that. Please make me a mechanic that will make best of one players use a sideboard. So is that a completely off the wall conspiracy theory, or is it hashtag capitalism and not a conspiracy at all? I mean, I think it's, the other thing is, I know I'm memeing on it a little bit, but it does seem like a super fun tinfoil for dinner, no hats. It does seem like a super fun limited mechanic, and discounting the economic issues, it does seem good for best of one. Like, I've been thinking about playing more best of one, and I think that in best of one, it's actually like a really powerful and probably really fun mechanic. So even though I'm sure there's I think it's possible there's some motivation to get players to spend more wild cards, I do think it's a fun mechanic for those formats. Still haven't seen anything that makes me think it's going to be good enough for best of three, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something and it will be. Brushfire, Fabled Passage. Go attacking, crack Fabled Passage. Brushfire does deal some damage, doesn't it? Blue, green. I guess we just take one more green. Hit you for 5 down to 15. Should I do more best of one content? So, okay, when Best of One came out, my initial take was, it's not real Magic. And I know that's a harsh way of putting it, but by real Magic, I mean, not like the most, I don't know, not traditional Magic. Let's say traditional Magic. But I've started to think that maybe I just need to think of it as its own thing, where sure, it's not traditional Magic, but maybe if you think of it as its own game, kind of like Magic Legends or something, where, yeah, it's obviously not, quote unquote, the most like competitive of Magic forms. Maybe it's good in its own right. Well, opponent's deck is going off. I mean, I guess it's probably not hurting our opponent's deck that we are brutally mana screwed in our 28 land Dexamo. Not it? Okay. Well, that is not a land, and we will scoop it up. Apparently 28 is not enough at the moment. Well, run it back, hit some lands. I've noticed, I think, so what made me think about this is, it seems like most people do not want more best of one content based on the reaction. What made me think about it, though, we're going to keep this. If we hit a red source, we can go off with a Risen Reef, maybe. What made me think about it was, I've seen some content on YouTube that other people do, playing best of one, and it kind of seems like it's a place you can do really janky things and sometimes win. Because occasionally you run into people that are doing even more ridiculously crazy things. I think, more established players play best of three, and the old timers who came over from Moto play, exclusively best of three. So then if you play best of one, you're going to run into maybe people learning the game, people with not optimal decks, people that are playing on a budget more. So then you can do your like really janky thing and actually stomp people with it because you run into someone who is doing something even jankier. Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I kept seeing these decks like pop up on YouTube, and people would send them to me, and I would look at them and I would be like, how in the world does this deck win? Like, how did anyone win with this deck? And then I'd go find the video. I'd be like, oh wow, they're playing best of one, and they're playing against something that is I've never seen. My brain does not understand what their opponent is trying to do here. So that was the appeal of it for me. Is maybe it'd be a place you could actually win more with the jank, so to speak. Now draw some cards. Draw some cards. Hit the Narset. Please no Wrath. We'd really like to keep drawing cards. Untap land. Opponent. Oh, come on now. Acidic as I have no idea what our opponent's doing. Speaking of, my brain does not understand. Opponent's just playing stuff. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Slam it all together and hope for the best. Well, play a Hellhound. Play a Leafkin Druid. Floral Hedron. Go. Winter Melant, and also Acidic Astros. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super here for you. Favorite art from Mystic Archive? Oh, that's super. What? Now a little bit of control stuff? What is this deck? What is happening in our opponent's deck? Favorite Mystic Archive art? That is an easy one. Favorite Mystic Archive art? 100%, hands down. Faithless Looting. It's got to be Faithless Looting. No competition. Oh, grow it, play it. Smack you a bit. Opponent, Showdown of the Scalded into a bunch of counter spells. It's definitely well, okay. That was for the English versions. There is a ton of amazing art in the Japanese versions that is really, really good. Narset. Can opponent spin into something awesome? Sort of for next turn. Opponent. Birth of Meletis. Yeah, I mean, I think our opponent might have just piled us. They just played a bunch of random stuff, and I think it's going to work out here because we have not been able to get any traction. The Mystic Archives are actually surprisingly inexpensive for the most part. I think being one in every pack is going to keep the price down a ton. We'll have to see. I haven't seen prices for like the etch foils. Maybe the etch foils will be pretty expensive, but opponent. Gonna do a tiny bit of timing out here. The problem is our opponent's gonna Wrath. We're gonna draw more lands. Yeah, this feels like game to me, because now our opponent Wraths. And we haven't been able to stick any card draw, so we just have nothing going on. Opponent makes a wall to Wrath away. Does Bird need help in Historic? I mean, that would be... Hey, thank you, Debate Bro. That would be my main concern, honestly, with putting Bolton in Historic. I'm not worried. I've heard some people say, oh, it'll keep, small creatures out of the format. I mean, we already have Claim the Firstborn, which punishes... Oh, jeez. Which punishes small creatures just as much or more than Lightning Bolt. Uh, and people still play small creatures. So my main concern would be, would burn just be way too good? But as creature removal, I mean, there's Fatal Push. The only way the Inquisition of Kozilek being reprinted into Historic is if they're going to ban Thoughtseize. Like, look at a black base modern deck. Look at a black base modern deck. It's really funny if you look at modern decks and then compare them to historic decks, because look at like what's a good example of a heavily black base modern deck? I guess some sort of maybe like a Jund. I don't know. But all right, let's just look at, I don't know, Jund Death Shadow. That's probably fine. But if you look at that, Fatal Push, Inquisition, Thoughtseize, those are all cards that are in Historic. That is the staple interaction of a black deck. But then if you go to like a white deck, Path to Exile, no, that's not allowed. Leonin Arbiter, Giver of Runes, nope. Nope. Flicker Wisp, nope. There is Skyclave Apparition, Ether Vial, I guess that's not a white card, but like white doesn't get that. And if you go to like a blue deck, like Blue-White Control, oh my goodness, the flooding continues. Oh, alright, on to the next one. And then if you look at a blue deck like Blue-White Control, Path to Exile, no. Spellseer, no. Mana Leak, no. Winds of Abandon, no. Archmage Charm, no. Force Negation, no. So black gets its like literal best interaction possible, and all other colors get like, I don't know, tier 3 or whatever interaction. So that's the part that I don't get about Historic. We have a new donation from Watermelon turn 3. $10.20. Longtime YouTube content consumer. Been trying to catch you live for ages. Also surprised that you never heard of Wintermelon. Oh wait, Wintermelon. What is Wintermelon? I don't know what that is. Thank you so much for the donation, by the way. If Force Negation comes to Historic, you'll be out? Really? I actually feel like we need Force Negation to come to Historic. Hey, I'm doing well, Catherol. I actually kind of feel like with all the Mystic Archives and Storm cards and all the really powerful spells that are being let in, I kind of feel like, I mean, it doesn't have to be Force Negation. Force of Will. I'll settle for Force of Will. How about that? How about we just go right to Force of Will? But I kind of feel like we need more stuff like that. The archives are going on Arena, and someone asked earlier, oh, it's like Honeydew or something? Interesting. I don't think I've ever had Wintermelon. But at the same time, apparently my eating habits are uncommon, apparently. Wait, haven't seen what? So the reason, at first I thought there's no way, like Storm just won't work. The pieces just don't exist to make Storm work. Boy, oh, this is Niv and we're just going to get Wrath. Boy, so many control decks. Maybe that's bad news for what we're doing. So many Wraths. About it. Do you think Pyre of Heroes would work in this deck? Turning every 2-type into Risen Reef seems good. Also survives Wraths. Maybe, but it would probably be in the slot where we're playing. Alright, opponent blows it up. Reflections of Littjara. So I think it would probably be an either-or thing. I don't think we could play both, most likely. Now there's Reflections. Can't play it this turn. Well, we can Tangled Floral Hedron. Draw you Shard. Play a land. Crack a lad. Get a Plains. Get Kahira. Well, No whammies? No whammies? I mean, from the perspective of someone watching football, 17 games seems sweet. From the perspective of someone playing in the NFL, unsure if that will be as sweet. Well, let's Reflections. Oh no! They have an answer for this too? Okay. Okay, not yet. I don't know what our opponent has, but Hellhound. Copy it. They bounced it? Wait. Okay. Sure. Sure. Opponent gets a Yshard. Opponent. Did they just hit like 5? They did. Alright, Tyrant Scorn, Maelstrom Pulse, Yshard, plays a land. Well, Risen Reef, X2. Decline. Trigger. Put it into play. Corporal Buckets! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brushfire Elemental. Copy it. Land. Grow our dorks. Trigger, trigger. Drawing all of our reflections. Well, Breeding Pool, untapped. Get some triggers. Tangled Florohedron. Copy it. Trigger. Not a land. Not a land. Not a land. Please land? Okay, we finally hit one. Get a land. Oh! They tried to niv us. They had all the removal too. They just couldn't. They couldn't niv us. Like the deck can go off. The deck can really go off when it goes off. Those are the turns you play the deck for. You get down the reflections and you just like do this ridiculous combo. Yeah, I feel a little bad for our opponent because I could have prevented that. Buscat and Bootrice, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, speaking of content, did any of you watch? Disdainful Stroke seems good. Yusharn doesn't do much. Did any of you watch the tier ranking video of Mystic Archives? Mystical Archives? I think I've said that wrong every time. What do you think of that style of content? Is that something that was enjoyable that you would like more of? Or I will admit, as much as I'm not a pop culture guy, I'm always kind of a sucker for rankings. I don't know why. I even know in my brain that I shouldn't be clicking on them. It's I don't know. But for some reason, if I see a tier list, I click on it, and it's like, oh, top 100 of this or whatever, every episode of this ranked. They're so easy to click on for some reason. The Mike Arnold, I find myself doing it and thinking you shouldn't click on this. This is not good for your brain, but I still click every time. Mike Arnold, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What else do we want against this deck? Trim you, Chandra. Let's try it like that. Rush and Helichrome, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Top 10 reasons to play Mana Tithe. Oh, that would be easy. It's just get him. No one expects it. Get him. Like, that's the main reason. The main reason to play Mana Tithe is just to get your opponents. Whether it's strategically correct or not, it doesn't even matter. Oh, it didn't pop up. Sometimes Twitch can be buggy and it doesn't pop up and then it pops up like 10 minutes later for some reason. But Mid Game Merch, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Yeah, see what you think, Lippy. See if it's kind of long because we go through every Mystic archive, but yeah, give me your opinion. I have edited your historic collected conjuring deck. Have some success with this version. Ooh, let me see. Collected conjuring makes a lot more sense in historic now that we've seen Mystic Archives adding so many spells to the format. I kind of feel like, oh man, top 1,000 commander staples. That would be a long video, I think. That would be a long one. Oh, we got to get our mana going. This is awkward. At least our opponent's also missing land drops, but they have oh no. Oh no. Oh. At first I thought our opponent punted last game. But now I think our opponent just chooses very odd targets with their removal spells. I want to play Risen Reef. You know what? We're going to play it. Haha! That's a land. Alright, we're doing it. Our buddy Risen Reef coming through. Thoughts on Cody and Historic? I feel like Cody is probably a commander card and an against odds card. I think the restriction of not being able to play permanents is really, really massive. Like that is a meaningful restriction. It's actually kind of funny because we were talking not that long ago about why don't cards have downsides anymore? Why are cards just all upsides these days? And that one is not all upside. That is a super real restriction. Could have played Reflections, but they could have Mystical Dispute, so might as well just ramp. Play the Triome. Get a big body down. Reflections in the future. Next turn we can Reflections and Disdainful Stroke. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll be fun to try, but I do not expect Cody to be good. Outside of being like 5-color Spellslinger Commander, the thing I like about Cody from a Commander perspective is I feel like Cody... Yeah, donating to your opponent's kind of funny. I think that's pretty funny. The thing I like about it is it's a 5-color commander that is not immediately going to get you killed. Wizards just kind of went arguably a little too far, I would say, with the power of 5-color legends. Kenras, Angoloses, Azikas. It feels like they've printed a lot of these like 5-color generic busted good stuff commanders in the last couple of years. Cody is kind of where I'd want to see them making 5-color commanders. It's still 5 colors. You know, we're gonna play Reflections. It's still 5 colors, but it is very... Alright, opponent's got a veto. Sure. Be like that, opponent. Hater of fun. But yeah, I feel like Cody is a 5-color commander that's not busted, probably not going to get you immediately killed, and you got to build around it a little bit to make it work, or actually a lot to make it work. Cody and Phoenix. Yeah, that could be sweet. So yeah, I think it's a really cool card. And it's obviously a cute card. Really, you don't think Azeka's busted? I think Azeka's super busted. Where are we growing? Let's grow that. That's a Chandra. This Omnath is pretty good once you get to 8 lands. Yeah, being able to donate it to your opponent's pretty funny. Well, attack you? and attack you. Opponent has a Fatal Push. Sure. I love these Tyrus cards. Okay. My local Nexamot wants to put Assault Suit on him and pass him around, eventually creating a lock state where everyone has to beat each other to death with the stupid book. That actually sounds like a hilarious commander idea. That sounds super funny. Oh, I didn't get to ask you this. Speaking of commander, I asked it on Twitter, but let's say you had to build around a broken commander, like a Golos, Kenrith, whatever, like a Troxa, like literal top tier commander, but build around it in a way that is not broken at all, like very unbroken. What would you build? Historic Storm, I'm actually thinking a traditional Storm deck might have a chance. Thanks to... opponent. Thanks to Grinning Ingus, I think Grinning Ignis actually seems pretty insane. Cavalier of Thorns, get a land. And yeah, we'll just pass. We got the Cavalier. Narset or a Voltron. Ooh, Golos alt Wincon sounds sweet. Phyrexian only Carrick. That's kind of spicy. Atraxa Sagas. I thought about that. I almost feel like Atraxa Sagas would still be really powerful. I think Atraxa Super Friends, but Planeswalker deck Super Friends could be kind of funny. Like you could only play Planeswalkers that come from Planeswalker decks. Opponent, more Cold Steel Hearts, sure. Well, we will cycle. I mean, we're winning, but I don't really want to win. I want to go off. That's the difference here. Omnath. Doinkia. Land. Draw a card. Grow Cavalier. Jeff Boyardee123. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tube for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, all right. Well, I guess we just win. I guess winning's also fine. Fabled Passage. Was that 4 Leafkins in a row? That can't be possible. That might have been 4. That looked like... Oh... That looked like 4 in a row. Golos Kamigawa Spirits. Ooh, that could be spicy. Well, all right. So the deck can go off. The deck can really go off. How consistent is it? That's another question. Ooh, some blink action in Historic. Let me take a look. I do like blink decks. Historic Blink. I mean that does look super fun. I do like this style of deck. Ephemerate going to be a huge upgrade. Ephemerate is so perfect for a deck like this. Yeah, and that looks pretty solid. Got good removal. Got some card draw. A little light on Panharmonicons, but otherwise. I have to say, I absolutely love that it's an 80 card deck, and you still couldn't get it quite down to 80. Like, you gotta... Oh, is that just Yarion? I was thinking that there was just... You had one card that you just couldn't cut, even though there were 80 slots, which is kind of funny. There's so many good Magic cards these days that even in a Yarion deck, there's too many. There's too many good options. Well, question of this is going to be, can we get down Reflections? Reflections, great against Counterspell Tribal. I mean, there's always a Panharmonicon. Ooh, Well, let's just Fabled Passage, grow it. Crag Fabled Passage. Our opponent could have hidden away Doomscar anyway. Blue, red. I think everyone thinks my voice is way different when I'm not making content, but I don't actually think that's true. Mr. Sub, oh, I'm sorry, Full Holes. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, Fabled Passage. The little hellhound that could go to combat, hit ya. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a island. Opponent down to 12. Oh, there's got to be a Wrath coming. We're going to pass. There's got to be. There's got to be a Wrath. Opponent cycles a Censor. SQ Silverless Control. Ooh, no Wrath. Interesting. Was not expecting that. Well, tap land. Grow the Hellhound. Go to combat. Hit ya. Leafkin Druid. Go. SQ Silverless Control with some infinite combos still there could work. Wait. Oh, SQ Sliverless. I am not sure what we're talking about, actually, Alf. I don't know what most of those words mean. Are we going to see another standard against the odds before Strix? Ooh. So... Come on. Come on. Don't counter it. Don't counter it. Accept the reflection. Well, alright. Hellhound, go. Huh, no one wants us to resolve our reflections, apparently. There's the Wrath. Alright, well. Reflections on Elemental. If we get to untap, we might do sweet things. Opponent. Yield of Guin. Teferi. Boo. Oh, come on now. I feel like every Teferi should just be banned on principle. If Teferi, if it's a Planeswalker, the creature ones can survive. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack Dempsey. I don't know why. Sometimes Twitch is bad about that. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent. Wrath. Well, you know they just have infinite counters, because... Well, that's the kind of thing Teferi does again and again and again. Opponent foretells. Untaps lands. Risen Reef. Play the land. Risen Reef. Well, sure. The bad news is, I don't know if we beat this Teferi. Like, our opponent probably just has us. Yeah. Tap land, go. I was meaning Sliver Queen with no slivers. Oh. That's what SQ means. That makes sense. That would be interesting. Baffling End to get our card draw. Untaps lands. Well, we will get a Kahira. We will play a Kahira. Our opponent will scry. Well, hit Teferi for a little bit. Leafkin Druid, go. I mean, if our opponent has a Wrath, we will just scoop and go to sideboarding. Opponent untaps. Draws a card. Is it possible to pull off the Spell Shift into Primal Surge combo with the new Cody artifact in Modern? I mean, if we can't answer this to Fairy, nothing we're doing matters. All right, yeah. Well, let's go to the sideboarding. Wait. I'm trying to imagine how that works. How would Cody... Oh. So try to have, like, the only spell that your deck could hit be Spell Shift? Wait. Spell Shift. It's just like a polymorph for spells, right? I think. Counter target instant or sorcery spell. Its controller reveals top card of the library until you reveal an instant or sorcery card. So you need to cast like a 5 mana instant or sorcery and then have Spell Shift be the only instant or sorcery that costs less? So here's the challenge with that. I think the hard part is the restriction. You could build around that, but when you also... So here's what I'm seeing with the deck. You'd have to not play any other instant or sorceries that cost 4 or less. But you also can't play permanents. So that just doesn't leave... That doesn't leave a lot of... That doesn't leave a lot of cards that could potentially go in the archetype. I think it would be a really sweet option to pull off. I am having a hard time imagining how to meet that deck builder restriction, though. Like, no cheap spells and no permanents. That is a tough one. Brano plays 2 years. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be sweet to have it go off. I mean, I guess also you can try to time it so you play your permanents before Cody comes around, essentially. All right, well, let's try it like that before we run out of time. The real Evesy, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much, or Heavy Z, so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. With that auto kickers' rage. No, if you hit a card with kicker, you have to you still have to pay the kicker cost. You can pay the kicker cost, but yeah, you'd have to put the mana into it. It reminds me of like Sunbird's Invocation, kind of a little bit. How it triggers. Also, like somewhat like Cascade is another good comparison. Authority of the Consoles. Well, Triome, go. Well, I think plan A is to play Chandra and get some emblems on our opponent, perhaps. Opponent, Censors. Well, play the land past the turn. Opponent. I mean, I think it's usually worth holding on to Triomes because if you draw a bunch of lands, you might... Well, Brush Fire Elemental, go. Alright, come on, lands. Opponent. Plays a land, passes. Well, we draw a land. Play Brush Fire Elemental. I guess it doesn't matter when we play it. Play the land. Pump the Brush Fire. Go attacking. Hit you. Brush Fire Elemental. We don't want a Pact of Negation, but we will 100% Pact of Negation a Teferi if we have to. I think people find a way to make Storm cards go infinite with Burgeoning Grinning Angus. Yeah, I think Grinning Angus is a card that theoretically could actually let could actually let traditional Storm be a thing. Creatures are all coming into play tap because of Authority of the Consuls, so the haste doesn't really do anything at the moment because of that. Well, down to 16. Opponent's got to have a Teferi at least. Well, Steam Vents, untapped. Grow the Dorks. Hit ya for 6. Chandra? What do you say about that, opponent? Not going to counter that one now, are ya? Opponent's got a plan for Chandra. Opponent. Field of Road to Fairy. Well, we will counter that. We will pay. Fabled Passage. Sorry, Chandra. We have other plans. Crack it. Doesn't matter. Oh! Oh! Got him. Oh! Oh, boy. Oh, have we talked about Resculpt? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the stream. That's not one that actually, surprisingly perhaps, that one doesn't actually bother me that much. Because that one actually kind of feels blue to me. I know it's like quote-unquote blue artifact destruction, but really the way I view Resculpt is it's for upgrading your own stuff, and that feels like at least mostly blue to me. So that one, I think, I don't know. I'm not gonna rail against it as a color pie break, like Raven form. If you were giving your opponent like a 4/4 bird or something, all right, I can get behind that. Like, but you're giving him a 1/1. It's just such a tiny, insignificant thing that you're giving them that it doesn't really feel like it hits the polymorph, change it into something else mode. This one does. Like, sure, you kill your opponent's artifact, but then you die to a 4/4. So I think you're supposed to like make treasure tokens and then upgrade the treasure tokens into 4/4s, ideally. Ooh, claim the firstborn into Resculpt. That does sound sweet. You get all the benefit. I think the idea that blue doesn't have a color pie is kind of silly. I think it definitely does. Like, blue's not good at killing things. Blue's pretty bad at killing things. Things that are on the battlefield is where blue struggles. And I don't feel like... I mean, what are some examples of blue cards that are good at getting things off the battlefield? Like, blue literally can't kill artifacts until these silly color pie breaking exile spells that Wizards print the last 2 sets, but those are mistakes. Even Mark Rosewater said, like, if I controlled this, I would not print it because it's a mistake. Or it's breaking the color pie. I don't think bouncing everything counts. Like, I feel like bouncing everything is not really the same. Because if you bounce everything, your opponent can just replay it. So it's still not hard removal. Like, it's temporarily removal. Reality Shift, I guess, is pretty aggressive for being blue removal. Opponent has a Baffling End. And Authority of the Consuls. Well, Tangled Floral Hedron. Play a tap land. No Teferi this turn. The worst they can do is probably draw some cards. Field of Ruin. Baffling End. Well, we gotta wait. We can't let Teferi resolve. We can't do it. Opponent. More foretelling. Land. Alright, that's a land. So play the land, Realm Walker. I did see that one coming. Pongify and Rapid Hybridization for Commander. So I think a lot of the other part of this is that Commander is so different than the rest of Magic, if that makes any amount of sense. Like, Pongify and Rapid Hybridization are stone unplayable, I think, in 60 card formats. Because in 60 card formats, you're often upgrading your opponent's creature, or at best, like, kind of coming out neutral when you play one of those. So I kind of feel like part of it is that Commander is weird and different. And I feel like that's one of the struggles with Magic right now. Spice Lord MTG. Ooh, play more Vintage. Maybe we should do some more Vintage. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we can't play this yet. We can Omnath, but we're short on lands. Let's Kahira. And Floral Hedron. Pass the turn. Chandra's going to be coming. Opponent's going to make a 1-1. So opponent's got not much going on at the moment. Opponent passes. I'll go to combat attack you. Opponent blocks. Stomping Grounds, untapped. Chandra. Resolves. Emblem you. The clock is on. The clock is on. Pass the turn. Opponent makes a 1-1. As much as I hate losing to fairy control decks, I do like when we beat them. And that might be happening. I mean, 20 turn clock already. And this might pressure our opponent to actually do something so we can resolve Reflections. Like, they can't let us just keep embleming or they're going to lose. Aether Gust. Yes, we'll put that on top. Reflections of Littjara. How do we feel about that one, opponent? Alright, more Saw Cummings. Sure. Well, Chandra's coming back next turn. Get him with Kahira. Opponent chumps. Oh, we're going to take this deck down. Pass the turn. Chandra's just in the sideboard, but it is good against control. It's in the sideboard to come in and be uncounterable against control. Well, Chandra returns. Alright, no Gust. Emblem 2. Speeding up the clock. Kahira attacks. 1-1. Blocks. Opponent. Ping ping. Down to 17. Can always use more emblems. Opponent land. Timely reinforcements. Sure. Well, Risen Reef. Oh, resolves. Hellhound. Resolves. Leafkin. About it. Ixodron is a pretty sweet commander card. He used to see more play. I feel like it hasn't seen play in a while, though. Play the land. Untap to send a message. Yeah, we'll just emblem you. Pass the turn. No attacks. Oh, opponent, you need something good. You need something good. Up to 3 emblems. Down to 23. Yeah, up to a free lava spike each turn. Opponent, Scryland. Gets into Chandra. We will kill 1. Wrath of God. I do kind of want the Risen Reef. You know what? We're going to try to counter this. Alright. Well, empty-handed opponent, but we are not. We have a Chandra. We will Omnath ping ya. Start drawing cards. Land. Grow it. Crack the land. Grow it. Mr. Second Amendment. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, there's Risen Reef. Yes, we will play that. And emblem you. 4 emblems. Pass the turn. Cryptic MTG for the 4th month. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Hey Seth, trying to get into Modern on MTG. Oh, what deck would you recommend for around 10 or 15 ticks? 8 whack. Definitely 100% 8 whack. If you're on a super low budget, you cannot do better than 8 whack in Modern, I don't think. That is the way to go. And we took down the control deck. That was not bad. We couldn't get down to Reflections, but we are kind of grinding to a decent-ish record. Yeah, Chandra came through. That's our plan for punishing the control deck, and it worked that time. A quick reminder before our next game that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magic cards, you know where you can get them? Over at cardkingdom.com. Would you play this deck in Modern on Moto? Ooh, let me see, Helio Strider. The flavor of the first ability is literally setting the opponent on fire. Oh, it really is. Blue-Tron. Blue-Tron is kind of a neat Tron archetype. So maybe... Wait, Mystic Reflection? What are we... Oh... Some Mystic Reflection Mirror Battlesphere action. That is a spicy take on Mono Blue-Tron, I will say. Yeah, that could be. I mean, it's a Blue-Tron list. I mean, it mostly looks like Blue-Tron with Mystic Reflection and some more Battlespheres than normal, I think. I don't know. I think out of all the Tron archetypes, Blue-Tron is probably the one that I would be most... Oh no, sacrifice again. The one I would be most apt to play. At the same time, I just don't know if people want to watch me play Tron. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Tron, up or down? I appreciate the shout-out of my namesake Angel on Boros spoiler. Razia Aurelia's worst cousin. Oh, glad I could be of assistance. Opponent smacks us. Well, play a forest. Grow the Hellhound. Hedgia. Leafkin. Go. Oh, no claim. The first boards, please. You can play Tron if you don't use any of the normal finishers or Eldrazi. That's fair. I mean, I think you can build fun versions of Tron. We played, like, Trading Post Tron a long time ago for Budget Magic, and it was using, like, Spinavish Shah is what we were troning into, and then sacking it to Trading Post. And so I think there are really fun ways to build Tron. There's also a lot of not as fun ways to build Tron. Well, Tangled Floral Hedron as a creature. Mountain, Grow the Hellhound. Oh, the problem is if they ever find Mayhem Devil, it's really, really bad. No. Well, I guess we'll attack. Sure. Get in there, doggo. You dodge playing Panharmonicon and Sundering Titantron a few years ago. That could actually be a sweet way to play Tron, too. Panharmonicon. Opponent, gonna block, and shoot down the Hellhound. Okay. Alright, no Mayhem Devils. Opponent land. Goes attacking. Sure. Down to 14. Oh, that's got to be Coco. Well, Hinterland Harbor. Play Cavalier. Get a Breeding Pool untapped. Attack you. Well, and that's the game. Mono red Pyromancer goggles, Blasphemous Axe Stuffy Doll. Yeah, I think Vince. I think that was the first deck I ever saw Vince make. Was Mono red Tron. How do you feel about Is It Tron with all the new Is It Big Spell? Sure. Strixhaven, give us those Mystic Archives soon, please. please, Magic Gods. The sooner the better. So Grafdigger's Cage, Yusharn's in. Abrades and maybe Chandra's in? I don't know if we can also bring an Ether Gust. There's just not that much room. Like, that's a big issue with this, is just how many cards can we bring in and still make Elementals work? So is it Tron? It could work, although I don't know if the new Is It spells are actually all that powerful for modern standards. The new Is It spells, I actually really like them. The thing I like about them is where's the best example? Where's the mythic one? So there's Creative Outburst. That's one of them. 7 mana, 5 damage. Get a card from your top 5. And then there's Magma Opus. The thing I like about these cards is, even though I feel like they're a little bit overcosted compared to like ultimatums, I love the discarding them option. Not because it's ramp. I heard some people that are going to be like, oh, this is Simian Spirit Guide replacement or something like that. No. Like, if 2 mana Make a Treasure was great, Wily Goblin would be breaking formats. And Wily Goblin, you know, I like Wily Goblin. We've played it before. It might be underrated, but it's definitely not insane ramp or anything like that. But what I like about this is it gives you a way to get it in the graveyard to get it back. Like, in Historic, we're getting Mystic's Mastery. What I imagine you do with this, Mystic's Mastery just lets you cast an instant or sorcery from your graveyard for 4 mana. Exiles it, lets you cast it. If you overload it, it's insane. So what you can do is just like turn 2, make a treasure, discarding your Magma Opus, wherever it went, and then turn 3, use the treasure to actually Mystic's Mastery it and cast it. So I think that's what excites me. In Standard, you have like every Flame Painter, another way to get it done. So I think that's what excites me about the cards. I'm not super excited about, well, alright. Gonna need some lands, but we got a Yusharn. We are in the play. So that's what excites me about them. I think if you're just casting them, they're fine. They're not bad. I mean, the mythic one, you do get like 14 mana worth of effects or something if you look at comparable cards. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, is discard them, Torrential Gearhawk them, Efreet them, Mystic's Mastery them, something like that. So I feel like that's going to be the best way to take advantage of them. Psychologist for the 54th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, magic gods. Not like this, magic gods. Just give us the land. That's it. Untapped Stomping Grounds. Stomping Grounds would be a good one. Oh, this hand is so expensive. We just hit all the expensive stuff. We have as many Omnas as lands. Hey everyone, Commander turn 1, pick your hand and everything. How much mana can you get on the table? Ooh, wait, so is this permanent mana or mana for that turn? Because I'm pretty sure, well, I mean, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. It is technically a land. It is not an untapped land that lets us do something this turn, but it is a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If our opponent can Coco here, though, it's so bad. Look at this hand. Look at these 4-drops. Opponent. Coco's here, though, which is so bad. Whiff? Not exactly. Opponent goes attacking. It says... Yeah, the record is accurate. It will probably be 3-3 in a minute, though. The sacrifice deck. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. So, well, this is very familiar. We played the sacrifice deck earlier, and it went almost 1,000,000% the same way. Where our opponent had the side, we had Yashards, opponent had all the sideboard cards, they had priests, they have all the removal, and I get very sad. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think, yeah, it's just game, unfortunately. Cavalier of Thorns. I feel like, wow. Shape Scoop. Definitely Shape Scoop now. That's awkward. 28 lands not enough. Mayhem Devil or Claim the Firstborn. I mean, Mayhem Devil is what makes the the deck work. I think if Mayhem Devil didn't exist, then the thing with Mayhem Devil. So here's the thing about Mayhem Devil, which I think makes me dislike it. But what I dislike about it is that it triggers on sacrifice rather than stuff dying. Like, I feel like it should be... I feel like if it said, whenever a permanent is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, then it would be much fairer. Because there just isn't really hate for sacrifice. There's not... I mean, I guess there's Yusharn now, but it's not like Rest in Peace doesn't do anything against it. All the stuff that you would use to shut down like Blood Artists and other similar effects, they just don't work against Mayhem Devil because of how it's worded. So I kind of feel like the sacrifice wording, oh my goodness, it's that deck again, never ending. Alright, well, sure. I mean, maybe that's not the best wording, but I feel like there's got to be some wording, like, because I think they want it to be able to trigger on non-creatures. Like, Blood Artist, whenever a creature dies, it drains, whatever. Like, that's fine. I feel like they want it to work for non-creatures, which I think is part of what makes it unique, and I wouldn't want to, like, completely lose that aspect of it, because it is a cool aspect. I don't know what the best wording is, but I think that it's just very difficult to hate out. Why are people moaning about the sack decks the way they did about Uro? Well, because they're busted. I think people were moaning about the sack decks even before Uro. The difference is, let's see what's on top. All right, we don't want that. So Fabled Passage, crack it. I think that Uro was just taking some of the heat for him, basically. Like, I think people had always been talking about the sacrifice deck being too good, but I think other stuff was just more too good. I mean, I think Historic is fun, and Historic's going to get a huge shakeup, but I think the metagame percentage of the sacrifice deck is probably on the high side. Not saying that it needs to be banned or whatever, but I think it's in the conversation at least. I mean, it was just what 35%, 33% of the last pro tier. I don't know if that's I don't know if I would agree with people just moan again about any top tier deck. I think it might feel like that the last year or two, but that's because a lot of the best decks in the format have been like legitimately 75% of the meta and like legitimately way over the top power level wise. So, because if you look at, like, let's look at the historic meta. If you look at the historic meta, I mean, I don't know. Maybe people just complain about everything. But I haven't heard, like, I think the Bat Angel deck is one of the best decks in the format. I haven't really heard people complaining about that. Sacrifice, people complain about. Azorius Control, there's some people who are just always going to complain about Control. Gruul Aggro, I feel like Burning Tree Emissary is a card that takes heat, but I feel like it also kind of maybe rightly takes heat. So, I don't know. Do people just always complain about the top tier deck in the format? Maybe to some extent, but then also, like, I feel like that's sort of a cop-out, though, because sometimes the top-tier deck of the format is really too good. I remember people saying the same thing when Oko was 75% of the meta. And there were some people that are just like, I don't like bannings, period. People are always going to complain about the top deck. And they're like, wait, 75% of the meta? That is unprecedented. Like, that's never happened in the history of Magic. So I feel like there's probably got to be a middle ground there. Do people complain too much? Yes. Has Wizards been printing really busted stuff that needed to be banned? Also, yes. So a little from column A, a little from column B, perhaps. Well, bring in your Sharns. Go down to Hellhound. Was that just, like, mana-screwed sacrifice? Like, do we need Grafdigger's Cage? Or is it just a food deck? Let's try Ether Gust. Alright, let's try it like that. And I think that's the other thing with the sacrifice deck is they already banned Cat in Standards, with one of the main reasons being the play pattern. Not so much that it was too good, quote unquote, although it was very good, but a big reason it was banned is just the like sack it, sack the food, do it again, especially on Arena, which doesn't have any shortcutting availability, and they love their like little laggy animations compared to even Magic Online. It is a pretty clunky and not always super enjoyable thing to play against. So I think that's the other reason that the sack deck gets complained about in specific is yeah, that it's not the most enjoyable experience in digital. About it. I actually really wonder, do you think they're going to ban Thoughtseize? I think that's an actual question. Like, maybe Inquisition is printed and the plan is they're going to ban Thoughtseize and let Inquisition be the primary discard spell. I feel like having both of them together is going to be pretty interesting. I don't know if that'll be interesting in a good way, but I mean, Mardu Pyromancer should be pretty good. I think the bigger thing with Mardu Pyromancer is Faithful Suiting is an insane Magic card. If you look at, I mean, I did a whole video on this, so we won't talk about it super long. But if if you look at the Mystic Invocations, the ones that are going to shake it up, number one, everyone's favorite artwork, Faithless Looting. Best art in Magic. Did I tell you? Did I tell you, chat? I don't think I've streamed since I've been talking about this. I like the Faithless Looting art. I know most people hate it. Alana, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was thinking that would be a good Magic tattoo. I'm thinking it combines two of the things that I need. I need I need a Magic tattoo. I've been talking about for a while. I also have a need to troll Twitch chat, and I can't think of anything that's going to send all of you into a tizzy more than getting a Faithless Looting tattoo. I was thinking, you know, like the teardrop tattoos, like a teardrop tattoo, but instead of a teardrop, it's a Faithless Looting guy. Eh? Should we straw poll it? I mean, he just wants to give you some coffee and check your temperature. Wasn't that? He seems very helpful. I actually do think the art. Like, here's the thing. Like, I think it's funny. It reminds me of like an Adult Swim show or something. Like, I don't know. Does it look super magic-y? Like traditional magic-y? No, but we're getting a lot of different art styles. Do a lot of the secret layers look super magic-y? Definitely not. Is this different than any other style we've seen in a Magic card? Yeah, I think for the most part. But yeah, I think when it comes down to it, I think it's the tiniest thing, and I think someone mentioned this on Twitter too. I think the problem in the reaction is the person looks a little bit too realistic. Like, the same artist did Harmonize, and it's the same style. Like, Harmonize is the same style. You got the character that looks pretty realistic. It's an elf in this case. The background kind of doesn't really match. I think if the skin tone of the Faithless Looting character was more like this elf character, where it's like realistic but a little bit more cartoony, I think that would have changed. I think that would have changed the reaction to the card a lot. Because I think that's what really stuck out to people, was just how jarring the contrast is between the hyper-realistic, like, person, even though it was apparently, according to the artist, all painted. Like, it's not an actual picture or anything. But the contrast, I think, was just a little bit too much, really. But I do think the funniest part is Faithless Looting is a Mystic archive that's going to shake up Historic the most. And while we're going to get the Japanese card styles, I don't know how soon they're going to release the card styles. So theoretically, for a while, I would not be surprised if Faithless Looting was the most played card in Historic, or at least in the like top 10 or top 10, top 5. And this was the only art available. So I will say, I do think they should release another version of the art, not because this art is bad, but because even though I think I like it, but I do understand that some people don't like it. So having an option for people who don't like it, I think that's a good thing. I would probably choose to play this version of Faithless Looting. I mean, they will have the Japanese promo card style, which these are, I mean, look how good that looks. That also doesn't really look like a Magic card, though. That also looks very different. And I feel like the Japanese card styles have been beloved. Like, everyone loves this art. And I think these are maybe some of the most beautiful cards Wizards has ever made. Like, in all 27 years of Magic, it's the highest tier. Look at this Cultivate. Every single one. Even cards I don't care about. This Defiant Strike. This Claim the Firstborn, which I absolutely hate because it keeps killing us, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this art is so spectacular. So yeah. And I love the formatting of it. I just love how clean it looks. I think that's really it. Like, there's no border at all. There's minimal text, and with the like card name and the text box, and it just looks so clean. And plus, the art itself looks amazing. So yeah. I mean, that's definitely a win. And I think most of the Mystic Archives look really good too. Like I even like the ones that other people don't like. The only thing that's weird is some of them sort of pale a little bit, I think, in comparison to the Japanese versions. Even though this version, like, that's an awesome looking memory lapse, or like the Inquisition looks sweet, but then when you compare them to the Japanese versions, you're just like, the normal version's nice, but the Japanese version is just so good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how expensive these end up. Hopefully not super duper ultra expensive. I expect the Japanese ones will be more than the English ones, but new spoiler. Maelstrom Muse, 1, blue. Hybrid blue and red in the middle for some reason, red. Jin Wizard, flying. When it attacks, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast costs X less this turn, where X is its power as this ability resolves. Why does it say as this ability resolves? I don't know why that line of text is necessary, but that's kind of like a weird ramp card. That's kind of interesting. Clevis, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super review. For better clarity, I guess that makes sense, although, let's read Hofri. Speaking of clarity, read this card and tell me what you think would happen when this ability, when this situation plays out. So Hofri, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types, and it has, when this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to your graveyard. So if you read that ability and you think about it, what happens if you have the Hofri, and you claim the firstborn your opponent's creature, and you sack your opponent's creature, and you get a token that has that ability, and then you sacrifice the token, the way this reads, my inclination would be that you're supposed to put the creature into your graveyard. Because that's what it says. When you get a token with the ability, when this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled creature to your graveyard. Obviously, that's not how it works under the rules, because it was pointed out on, we talked about it on Twitter, and there's actually just like a rule that says you can never have your opponent's stuff in your graveyard, but it seems like, wouldn't it be more clear if they use this extra space to say, into its owner's graveyard? So I'm not sure why, I don't know, like, I just thought of that with the clarity thing. Like, this extra line of text does make it more clear, but then in that case, it seems like they could have used a little bit more text for additional clarity. Is necessary because of rules things for X and costs. Oh, that's actually a good question. How many of you have actually read the Magic rules? Like, not the, like, some write-up, you know, that someone did, or a description, but how many of you have actually read the, like, 400.03, 400.04, 401.0? No, honestly, I do this all day, every day. and I have never actually read the rules. I've read a few individual rules that someone has sent to me, like when a situation comes up and I'm trying to figure it out. So, sometimes someone will send you like, oh, here's the rule for reference, but I have never just read the rules. Who has time for that? I mean, you could be playing more Magic. That's kind of my current theory with Magic cards as well. Like the MDFC Deans, I'm only like 50% through them. There's so many words on those cards. There's so many words. Why would I spend time reading Magic cards when I could be playing Magic the Gathering? Do you like this soft shift of the color pie, like Boros returning stuff for the graveyard isn't wrapping with treasures? Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't even know. Personally, I don't even know if I would really consider that. I mean, I guess that's a very soft shift, but like, is it's ramped with treasures for a long time. Boros/white has recurred things from the graveyard for a long time. So it doesn't really feel like a shift in the color pie as much as maybe Wizards is focusing on parts of the color pie that they didn't focus as much on before, if that makes any amount of sense. But yeah, I do like it. I don't like color probably breaks, but I do like colors being able to do things. But those feel like very on color to me. I actually feel like Boros has been very pushed in this. Oh my god. Jeez, yeah, yes, yeah. Save us, Hellhound. You're our only hope. Let's draw some cards as we die. I mean, we get a bunch of triggers, but I don't know how we survive our opponent's combination here. That is just a frighteningly fast start. I mean, our deck is doing things too. It's doing sweet things, but opponent just ramped into Gargaroth into Vorinclex, and I don't know how anyone ever beats that. We did manage to make a 12-power Hellhound, which is sweet. 3/6. I mean, I guess in some world we can try to chump our way through this. Like, Reflections of Littjara does go off, though. Opponent. Oh no. Is this Genesis Ultimatum 2? A lot of the big Izzet spells from opponent. Draws a card. Well. Yeah, we don't have a choice. If they got removal, we're dead. We gotta keep our Risen Reefs. Well, to one it is. Opponent. Oh, we could have such a fun turn. We could really do things if we get another turn. That's just a lot of big bodies. Four damage. That sounds less fun than drawing cards and getting Vorinclexed. Mythos of Aluna fights the Hellhound. Makes more Gargaroths. That's kind of spicy. Zeusa. Alright. Oh. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We gotta make some defense somehow. Omnath? Is that... The question is, do we play this Reflections? Maybe we're better off just trying to draw into an Omnath. We can draw a lot of cards. Get a land. I mean, I guess we already draw a ridiculous amount of cards here, so... Maybe we just do this and try to find Omnath. Leave Kid. Okay. More triggers. I mean, we should find one. We're going to draw our entire deck here. Hellhound. Land. Well, Hellhound. There's no way we can... Oh, that's not a Hellhound. Oh, by Hellhound, I mean... Realmwalker. Reflections of Littjara is so sweet. Oh my goodness, are we not going to find one? We gotta. There's no way. They would have to all be at the very bottom. Brush. Okay, there we go. There they all are. And then Omnath. Opponent had a crazy start, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We got him. That is Reflections of Littjara power. Yeah, yeah, nice Cargras. I think we went through essentially our entire deck there. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I could see, you can see at the end of the match, but between games you can't actually see. Haha, but in standard with Elementals, we did not have Reflections of Littjara. Well, Ether Gust seems good. We don't actually have a way to just kill, I guess, Chandra? Chandra can kill a... Maybe we counter the big thing. Disdainful Stroke, go down your Shard. Go down a Floral Hedron. Go down a Realm Walker. Let's try it like that. Here we come. Here comes the Elementals. Does Omnath ETB count as commander damage? It does not. You actually have to deal combat damage. Yeah, nothing except combat damage counts. I drafted it in Limited in Red Blue Giants. It was such a bomb. Multiplying Giants in Limited, very hard for opponent to keep up with. Yeah, I mean, if you can get enough of the same card type, it actually seems really sweet in Limited. Or creature type. If you get enough of the same creature type, that's kind of the challenge, I guess. I wonder if we could get that for any creature type. That would be a card. Like, Reflections of Littjara, it's so Panharmonicon-y. If it didn't have the tribal restriction, how much mana would it have to cost? Probably a lot. Lighten, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, Fable Passage. Oh, Tomorrow's Against Odds is so sweet. I'm super hyped. Super excited for Tomorrow's Against Odds. Reflections plus Mask would be 9 over 2 turns. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Molten Echoes, they go away though, right? New Meme Dream on Sunday. Yeah. This past week, I wanted to do the tier list thing. And the only open slot when we didn't already have something going up was on Sunday, so Memer Dream got pushed back. But there will be a Memer Dream this Sunday. Yeah, take a forest. Breeding Bull and Leafkin Druid and go. Have you spoken about the new Strix Mastery Pass? Ooh, is there information? I haven't actually read about it. Is it better or worse? In all honesty, I've sort of like a little bit kind of given up on Mastery Pass. Well, play a Triome. Pass the turn. So we can Ether Gust something this turn, untap Reflections. That's decent. No, you could share Can Spot. We do not have a rule against sharing magic related links or deck lists. Multiple choice. Which one is multiple choice? Oh, that spell's awesome. I really like multiple choice. Well, guessed it. Let's slow things down. Does kind of feel like Mystic Dispute mana. But play this, crack this, get a island. Oh boy. No Mystic Dispute. Okay. We are in business. I really like multiple choice. Multiple choice is such a cool design. Opponent. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I'll play Leafkin Druid. Play Leafkin Druid. Fabled Passage. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a Mountain. Hellhound. We got a bunch of zero powered elementals. Multiple choice is really sweet. Multiple choice is a spell. So blue and X sorcery. If X is 1, scry 1 and draw a card. So 2 mana opt is sorcery speed. Then if it's 2, you can choose a player. They return a creature they control to their hand. Return a creature they control to their hand. And then if X is 3, you make a 4/4, and then if X is 4 or more, you get to do all of them. So you, in blue, you get a 4/4 for 4, not bad. You get a bounce spell, I guess, for 3 mana, which isn't great, especially since your opponent chooses. That's the weakest mode. So I feel like you got to get up to at least 4 mana, and preferably 5 mana. But if you do get up to that, it's actually pretty powerful. Well, get Kahira. Play Kahira. 1, 2, 3. Play in the land. Pass the turn. But there's that Gargaroth. So yeah, I really like that card. I don't know if it's super good, but I think it's a... Ooh. This is like a standard deck. I think it's... the flexibility is really sweet. Opponent going to town. Makes a treasure. Draws a card. More Hellhounds, eh? I don't play Omnath. Kill Gargaroth. Oh! 6! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's 2 Kahira puns. That's two Kahira puns this stream. I counted to 6 successfully, chat. I did. I successfully counted to 6. But yeah. I mean, isn't it a little weird that Kahira can be the companion of your elemental tribal deck, but it doesn't actually care about elementals at all? Successfully. I was a successful counter. I blame Kahira. Acidic Astro, Bono, and Reed. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tube cheer for you. Thank you. Kahira's a kitty who happens to love all the beasts on Kiora. I mean, that's fine, but it wasn't fine that last game. The funny thing is, we even had a 1-drop in hand that we could have played. I didn't think we needed to. Have you ever considered an organized tournament like the Goldfish Open, some kind of against the odds-ish rules? Everyone has to build janky decks with a card between a selection of janky stuff. Yeah, that's something that we've talked about. Haven't actually made it happen yet, but I think it is something that has potential to happen in the future. And thank you to Acidic Astros for handing out the gift subs. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you. Well, all right, beatdown time. Untap land. Brush fire. Deal with the 1/1 opponent. The wrath of the 1/1. Down to 19. I think Velomachus is... I mean, if you tutor up, it's definitely very powerful. 7 mana is a lot. I think I'm actually highest out of the Elder Dragons we've seen so far. I'm highest on the Izzet one, really. I feel like I can see the curve developing. You got Magda. You have... So, I mean, you probably make the curve right now. You have a... Here, let's build this deck real quick. deck building in 10 seconds or less. All right, so you have this curve. You have a 4 Magda. You have 4 Magda. You have 4 Bone Crusher Giant. You have 4 Gold Span Dragons. You have 4 of whatever the name of this thing is. Galazeth Prismari. And then, so that's the easy core of the deck. This stuff all cares about treasures as well. So, I mean, you could play bigger dragons in there as well. You also want some spells probably for Galazeth. Oh, we're going to time out, aren't we? So, Plains, Trigger, Combat, hit ya. Risen Reef, draw cards. Sure. Pass the turn. I don't know about extra dwarves. Maybe. Buckarox for the 10th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, Beanstalk Giant? Oh boy. We get to be on Reflections. Alright, land, crack it. I mean, we are going to play Reflections. This lets our opponent play something big, but it seems 1,000,000% worth it. Reflections on Elemental. Hit ya. Risen Reef beatdowns, down to 10. Opponent. Do your worst. Do your worst. Why don't we attack before playing Risen Reef? I assume that our opponent could have removal, or Mystic Dispute, so I was hoping that if our opponent had instant speed interaction, they would kill the Brushfire, and then we would be able to resolve the Risen Reef. So that was, well, we're just gonna keep going. So that was my my line of thinking there. We wanted to bait out the interaction so we could resolve Risen Reef, which is more important than the Brushfire. Opponent. I actually think that I'm a little skeptical of. Oh boy, if we can draw Risen Reef now. Well, not yet. Well, play Realm Walker. Get a few of them. Elemental. Oh my goodness, next turn. Elemental. Tablet. Oh, when everything is actually 3 things? Opponent. What do you say? What do you say? Land. Beanstalk? We're okay with a Beanstalk. No, don't look at those. Well, okay, yeah, we're not okay with that. Try to exile our stuff. Opponent. Oh, there it is. Risen Reef. Boom. We might mill ourselves out. Oh, Brushfire. Okay. That's good. That's very good. This Brushfire is going to win us the game. Oh, watch this. Watch this. Oh, it's going to be so sweet. Sure. Here they come. Yeah. Our opponent definitely deserves this for trying to Ugin us. Wow, are we not going to hit lands? That's awkward. There's a land. Pump 'em. Do some triggering. There's a land. Pump 'em. And then Fabled Passage. And then Crag Fabled Passage. I'm sorry, opponent. You can scoop if you want to, but we're going. Reflections of Littjara is sweet. It is so sweet. And it was against the Ugin deck too. That was gonna try to get us with Ugin. Oh man, this deck is really fun, and we've been winning about as much as we're losing. So I think we're up to. Are we at what? 4-3, 5-4? I think we're 4-4. I mean, the deck has felt decent. The sacrifice deck kinda wrecks us, but Awesome, dude! This number on my screen keeps going up each month. Can't figure out why. It is insane, awesome, dude. You're one of the originals from the earliest days of the stream. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, what is my Strixhaven house? So after watching, did you watch the trailer video? What do you think of the trailer video? After watching the trailer video, I don't know. The Witherbloom seemed kind of like a little bit hippie-ish, I guess, kind of like back to nature. But the person in the trailer also, I don't know, came across a little bit not especially engaging, a little standoffish, I would say. So I can see some arguments. Yeah, like I don't really have the gothic aspect down. Like, I like the back to nature, like, hippie aspect. I can relate to that aspect. But as far as, like, the gothic aspect, I don't know much about, like, goth culture, really. So I didn't really relate to that part. Too much Simic I like, but too much math. Too mathy for me. I mean, I'm the 1, 2, 3 a million guy. So once we go beyond that, it's a little over my head. Hey, Prideful Pelican, good to see ya. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'm definitely not Boros. Yeah, Clever Luminancer is. I am scared of that card. The only thing that makes me think it might be not absolutely broken, Prideful Pelican for the 25th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do good with stats. I like stats, but outside of stats, I am not super good at math. I don't really know. I think it's because stats interest me, and I find that it applies to real life and also things I enjoy, like magic and sports and like poker. So statistics and probabilities, I'm actually pretty good at, and I enjoy. But as far as math beyond that, like just random calculus and algebra and more advanced stuff than that, that's I would much rather be doing something art related. Witherbloom for sure. Yeah, I guess I haven't figured out which one I associate. It'll probably depend on the cards. Like normally color combination wise, Simic is probably the easiest pick, or is it? Yeah, Lorehold is looking really good. Surprisingly strong. Well, Land Leafkin. Hit you for 2. Is this another ramp deck? I'm surprised we haven't gotten more new cards this afternoon. There have been very, very few spoilers during the stream. I figured there... Oh, spicy. Oh, maybe this is like a Garuda deck. Huh. Play a tap land. Floral Hedron. Hit ya. Pass the turn. I am really excited to see what we get for Golgari. I think gameplay-wise, Golgari is probably what I'm most excited for Standard. Is this like a new deck? Like wrapping into Gargaros and stuff, is that a thing people are doing in Historic now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, Reflections of Littjara on Elemental. Tap land. No attacks. Next turn's gonna have to be our good turn, hopefully. Opponent. Nothing scary. Just mill yourself out. No big deal. Yeah, Witherbloom Elder Dragon's probably gonna be a good one. Oh, new card. Frost Trickster. 3 mana 2/2, so Windrake, flying. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. I mean, if they had Flash, it would be really good, but definitely a limited bomb. Or I don't know, I wouldn't say bomb, but definitely a very strong limited card. Probably not a constructed card outside of richer decks like Bird Tribal. Oh boy. A big craw. Opponent goes attacking, no blocks. Blinks Cavalier. Are they winning with Thassa's Oracle? Is like that where this is heading? Ugins! Oh dear. Oh boy. Opponent. Grow Spirals. Scries to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 lands. We need to be able to Cavalier into Omnath. So Cavalier, please don't betray us. We need the lands. Stomping Ground, untapped. And Fabled Passage. Crack. Red. Blue. Omnath. Shoot down Cavalier. The problem is they get to get back Ugin. Ugin is such a bummer of a card to have to play against. Because we're doing such cool things, but it's just like, oh, Ugin. All your cool things no longer matter. Maybe they misclick. It's possible. Okay, they did misclick. We will accept that. Huh. I figured our opponent would choose win the game mode, but we will accept not win the game mode. Kill your stuff, kill your stuff. Tap land. And grow the Hellhound. Hit ya. Alright. They probably still have an Ugin in hand. That would make that make sense if there's already an Ugin in hand. If they don't have an Ugin in hand, this Crossus is going to kill our opponent. Yeah, but we need to attack. We need to kill our opponent, but also have them not get the Ugin. Yeah, they must have Ugin in hand. There's no Kahira, so the counting every creature works if there's no Kahira out. Do we have anything we can get back? Not really. I don't. Sure. Next. Ugin. Well, okay. So opponent's ramping aggressively, I would say. We'll bring in a couple of counters, run it like that. So what about modern Reflections of Littjara with tribal spells like Reflection, Fairies, or even Reflection Eldrazi Trod? Ooh. Wait, does Reflection work with non-creatures? Let me read it closely. Yeah, I mean, I guess it does. Doesn't seem great with Eldrazi, because your I mean, I guess Eldrazi Conscription is sweet. So you could double a Bitter Blossom. I think you'd need a tribe that worked, the creatures worked with it, and then also the spells worked with it, because there's just not that many. There's just not that many spells. I think your house is Prismari because you're a streamer performer, or Silverquill because you write articles and influence MTG. I think that's a pretty good bet. I could see one of those being right. Ugh, no red mana. We're gonna mulligan. Well, still no red mana. This is concerning. Well, ugh. Sand would be okay normally, but when you know there's a million ramp spells and Ugins. About it. Forest. Well, there's our red mana. Tap land go. About it. I honestly think Ugin is such a bad design. I think Ugin was a fine design for when it was designed, but I think that Ugin is a less fine design by with the with how it interacts with current cards, if that makes sense. Like when you don't really have the ability to ramp and you have to cast it for 8 mana, then I think Ugin is kind of okay. But in the modern era of design, where it's like growth spirals, binding of the old gods, just ramp, everything's a ramp spell. Everything draws you a card, so you can never run out of cards. How it interacts with the rest of 2019 to 2021 design is not ideal. I mean, I think the other thing that's like often not talked about so much is how there's just so much virtual card advantage. I actually think in formats like Standard and Historic, playing real card draw is becoming less and less necessary because a huge percentage of your payoffs are also drawing you cards. It's Planeswalkers, it's Crosses, it's Uros. So everything just has this like virtual card advantage going on. So in the old days, if you played a ramp deck, the secondary problem was not only did you have less good ramp, but I think the secondary problem was you would also sometimes fizzle because everything didn't also draw you a card. So it was actually possible to like have a bad hand. Like that was what we always talked about with ramp decks in the past, is they can be very powerful, but they're really inconsistent because you draw the wrong half of your deck. Now you draw all your deck, and you can freely mulligan into your deck, and all your ramp spells also draw you a card. So that's just not even a conversation anymore. Today it's my shoulder, but yeah, those bad falls when you're younger actually come with high interest credit from a loan shark who comes to collect unexpectedly. Oh, well, I hope you feel better, Tanos. That's a bummer. Do you have any anti-mill cards? With Double Cavalier, a ton of Risen Reefs, I see you chewing through your deck really fast. Do not have any dedicated anti-mill cards. Well, get a Mountain. Pact Negation's actually interesting. Get Kahira. Play Kahira. Pact Negation is a good Ugin answer. Get in with the dorks. Bigger than a Gargaroth. About it. Alright, no crosses. We can deal with the Ugin, no crosses. Down to 8. Hey, what's up, Atari? How are you? Are you going to make a meme or dream deck with Darksteel Reactor? Ooh, so we've played Darksteel Reactor on Against Odds before in Modern. Another Gargaroth. Eh, I think we gotta hold it for something better than that. About it. Llanowar. That's acceptable. And a tap land. About it. Passes. Well, Reflections of Littjara. Number 2. On Elemental. Hellhound. Make a bunch. Attack, attack. About it. Alright, gonna scry. Yeah, there have definitely been some sweet spoilers. The set's looking really sweet to me. Opponent. Blocks, blocks. Ooh. Should probably do it the other way and kill the token, but okay. So opponent. Doing it this way means we do get to get something from our graveyard. Which I think is just... Actually, do we want any of these cards? Maybe not. I guess a fetch land's actually maybe the best card. Are we just taking a fetch land? Yeah, alright, sure. I mean, that is, I think, the best thing we got going with Triple Hellhound. About it. And that also is something that, even if we got to pay for Pact and Negation, we can still take advantage of. Opponent. Yeah, Realmwalker is very strong. I like Realmwalker a lot in this deck. Well, basically every card is a bit weak in Eldraine World. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I feel like the only way this really backfires if their last two cards are Land Ugin. And this is better if they have Crosses. Because now we win even through Crosses. So hopefully it's not Land Ugin. That would be so bad. I feel like they're trying to set up for a huge Crosses maybe. To stabilize. Bonnet. Oh, okay, that's what is happening? Oh, trigger, trigger, trigger. I don't know what our opponent has. We're swinging with everything. Like, maybe they have some blowout I'm not seeing? Go attacking? Opponent blocks. Gains 3. Scries. Okay. Yeah, they are trying to get our heads. And then dies. Oh, opponent. None of those mind games. Well, we got there. I think I could deal with Reflections of Littjara way better than Mirror March because there's no coin flipping involved. That's always the big issue with Mirror March is I just can't win a coin flip to save my life. I don't know how it's possible to be bad at flipping coins. It shouldn't be possible. But I have managed to do that. I have managed to pull it off. Just build your deck around flipping tails. Yeah, I should. I wish there was an option for that. I've actually calculated it. Oh, it was a while ago now, but I calculated it over a bunch of games, and I'm like consistent. And it came up with Commander Clash last season too, where I was like really bad at winning coin flips. For my Magic career, I'm just like a bad coin flipper. If it comes to anything that's a 50-50 shot, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Oh, boot it. Explores, draws a card, plays a land. Oh, I'm so excited for Strixhaven Historic. It is going to be sweet. Used to have a Darksteel Reactor Dismantle deck back in the day. Yeah, I wonder what the best way to build around it in Historic would be. When we played it in Modern, it was kind of about... Oh, opponent's got so much mana. It was about turning a reactor into a creature, since it was indestructible. Cavalier. Yeah. Ulamog. Sure. About it. Passes. Well, crack this. Get a land. Play Arisen Reef. Well, there's our reflections. Past the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, opponent's got more than twice as much mana as we do. 8. And game. Well, sometimes your opponent plays an Ugin on turn 4. Oh, jeez. All right, one more elemental round. Yeah, how would you build it in? How would you build it in Historic? I wonder. What do you think of Ephemerate plus PVDDR? Yeah, I think that's a pretty sweet synergy. I think that being able to work with Blink is one of the upsides of PVDDR. So yeah, I can see that being a good plan. I still kind of feel like you either need a plan to kill your opponent, or you need a plan to get rid of the cards in exile. I think the easiest home for PVDDR is like aggro / tempo based decks. I feel like in those decks, it's a super easy natural home, because you can get the Wrath for like a turn or two, and that's fine. So you gotta have a pretty aggressive game plan. Oh, it's goblins. Kenton, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Land, please. No. Well, sort of. That does work. Pass the turn. Well, we got to kill our opponent before we get muxed. How do you think the white one drop will impact Modern Prowess? Will he go Jeskai? Will he drop Stormwing Entity and go Lurrus? I think Jeskai seems like the most obvious choice. The only thing I'd say about it is it does have 1 toughness. It is a absurdly explosive card that I think has a lot of potential. Ooh, Boy, Reflections would be sweet, but I think we have to kill this War Chief or we risk losing. Kill the War Chief, play a land. Counter on Risen Reef. Hit you for 2. Alright. Are we going to find time to get down Reflections is the biggest question. But the 1 toughness thing is the one thing that makes me think it might not be completely busted. You got Lava Darts, you got Ren in 6, you got Gut Shots. So if a ton of people start playing it, there are really cheap, easy to access answers. So that's the one thing that makes me think it is not 100% busted, but I still think it is very strong. Jeskai, that's unfortunate. Jeskai Prowess seems like maybe the easiest home, though, I would say. Opponent goes attacking. We drop to 12. I'll play Risen Reef. Draw the land. Get the land for free. Grow Risen Reef. Brush Fire Elemental. Fabled Passage. Grow Risen Reef. Crack. Mountain. Grow Risen Reef. Hellhound. Oh, we did not hit many lands. I don't even know if we survive here, though, because they're going to get... Yeah. Cranko. That is a lot of hasty goblins. Lot of hasty goblins. And I don't know if we can win even if we do untap. We are playing Legal Omnath. Well, there's Cranko. About it. How can we win this? We gotta do something crazy this turn. They can block our landfall stuff. Well, Risen Reef 3. Man, I wonder if we could play a Fling. If we had a Fling in this deck, that might give us a shot. It is Yasharn. Yeah, I'll put this one to hand. Yasharn is the green splash to fight the sack decks. Leafkin Druid. Hellhound. Tap land. Counter on. Oh, Brushfire. But they have this Snoop that can block land. I mean, we're going off. I'm just not sure it's going to be enough to actually win. Hellhound. Oh, and we never found time to get out Reflections of Littjara. Yeah, playing a Fling could be interesting. Well, grow. Yeah, just, Oh, we found it, but too late. Found it, but just a tiny bit too late. Well, Brushfire. Yeah, Yarok would be spicy. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Grow the Dorks. Yeah, and that's, I think, where the fun ends. I mean, we build it lethal, but our opponent has the blocker, and then they just make so many goblins that we're dead. Well, that was a good turn. It is a turn that leads to us losing to Cranko, but it was a good turn. Ugh. Well, Chandra seems good. Aethergust seems necessary. Grafdigger's Gauge seems good. Yasharn seems bad. We can go down to Cavalier. We can go down... Oh, we should have not scooped. All right. Next time we will not concede. I think we're just dead because our opponent can make a board full of goblins. They have to block like 2 creatures, 1 creature, and then they make board X2 of goblins, and they all have haste, and then we die. Brushfire it does have text, but it gets blocked by Snoop. All right, next time we will play it out. I do believe that we are dead there, but next time we will not concede. to make sure. Hellhound's it's a cheap elemental to trigger our stuff. I don't think it's insane, but I don't think it's bad. Well, remember, our board was also summoning sick, so all the stuff that we played that turn can't attack. So we had a little bit less power when it actually came to attacking. Yeah, alright. Sounds okay. Does not have anything that really interacts with goblins, though. No, they had a Snoop that was 3 power. So I believe what I was seeing there is the opponent blocks the lethal landfaller with Snoop, goes up to 8 goblins, then they untap. Best case, Krenko makes 7 more goblins, and that's assuming they didn't play anything from hand. And I was thinking that was just lethal, but we should have played it out. Well, play a tap land. Play a Hellhound. Yeah, the second brush fire was not lethal though. The second brush fire came pretty late, so it was not very big. Not big enough that our opponent had to block it. Our opponent also could have blocked and tapped Krenko if they needed to. Although then they lose Krenko, which would be fine, but I don't think they needed to do that. Chieftain. Opponents staying frisky. Well, Leafkin Druid. Hellhound. Get a land. I mean, this deck does have some sweet synergies. Realm Walker on Elemental. Like, this is a pretty impressive turn. Ooh, there's Omnith, too. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Tapped. Hit ya. Down to 15. Pass the turn. Our opponent can't mux this yet anyway. Just kidding. Well, and that's how it ends. Fair enough. Fair enough. Historic, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was a thing. I think it's hard to play around Ironcrag Feet because it's usually between like a 0 and 2 of in goblins. So, yeah, I think it's difficult to, because the risk is we shock ourselves there. We're already down to 14 because of shock lands. So we shock ourselves down to 12. We know all of our opponent's goblins have haste. So I feel like the bigger risk is that we leave ourselves so low on life that they just kill us like an actual goblin deck. So I don't know. Maybe we should have played around it. Ironcrag Feet is just like not a primary plan, but yeah, that's the other thing is if you run it out early, then that does give your opponent, if you run out earlier than you have to, that does theoretically open up the window for your opponent to kill it and then combo off. When if you can play it the turn before they Muxus, then they often have to, best case for them, they have to skip a turn of Muxusing to kill with like a braid or something, the Grafdigger's Cage. So then at least you're buying yourself a turn, even if they do have an answer. Oh boy. Alright, Angels, eh? Well, let's see if we can kill our opponent before they get to 27 life. Ironcrag Feet is definitely a way to play Muxus quickly. No doubt about that. Oh. Land Brushfire. Hit ya. Well, this hand's actually pretty aggressive. Double Brushfire and Hellhound and a fetch land. That might be enough to keep our opponent's life in check. Do you think banning Muxus would be good for Historic? Not that it's too powerful in terms of changing the playstyle of Goblins. I mean, I guess the good news is Goblins is weird. The weird thing about Goblins isn't normally a very heavily played deck outside of like the ladder, sometimes in best of one. So it feels I don't know. That's a really tough one. On one hand, I think Muxus is a really miserable play pattern. Like, it very much is like flip a coin. The outcome is between nothing and win the game. Like, it is so Hearthstone-y. It is the most, I would say, the most Hearthstone-y Magic card ever made. So, all right, main phase is a Coco. Another Skyclave Apparition, and a Heliod, and life being gained. Well, that is awkward. Coco is a really good Magic card, isn't it? Well, I guess we kill a soul. That doesn't even work. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're just super dead. Oh, that Coco was about as good as I get. See if our opponent... Yeah, alright. Fair enough. Well, let me see your Rocklips. Well, the ceiling on Coco is lower. Coco isn't win the game. I don't think, at least not anywhere near as directly as Muxus is. Like, Coco ranges from do nothing to put 6 power on the battlefield. Muxus ranges from do nothing to put 100 power on the battlefield or something. Yeah. Alright, on the sideboarding, one more shot. So I think my overall feeling on this deck is it's fun and it can do cool things, but it is decidedly not broken or busted. And Historic's become a very powerful format, and Historic is seemingly getting more powerful by the set as they put more and more really strong stuff into it. So I think this is a really fun archetype to play. However, it's probably pretty in the middle as far as how strong it is. Just because it doesn't have anything that's broken. Like, we have really sweet combo turns, but those combo turns, you gotta play a 6-mana do nothing, and then you gotta wait till your next turn, and then you need multiple creatures. That's not quite the same as, like, play Muxus and win, or play an Ultimatum and win, or play an Ugin and win. So yeah. I still really like this deck, though, because I do think it's really fun, and you draw a lot of cards, and it does a lot of sweet things. Do you think there's a way to make Song of Creation viable? I mean, maybe some of the new Storm cards can help. Huh. Well, yeah, I guess we just land in Risen Reef. More Hellhounds. Pass the turn. Well, hopefully it's not a Righteous Valkyrie. Oh, boot it. I've been playing Sun Creation with Burgie. Both sides of Burgie go off with it. Yeah, we played a Burgie deck, and oh dear, another Skyclave. And it definitely can go off pretty impressively. The backside, especially, is very strong. Well, Fabled Passage. Grow the Dorks. Crag Fabled Passage. Oh, we don't even have a mountain. That's awkward, isn't it? Well, Grow the Dorks. Hit ya. Down to 11, opponent. Historic was doomed for the start, and when they decided that it's basically an eternal format. Alright, Resplendent Angel. Opponent goes attacking. Well. Play Realm Walker. On Elemental. Ooh! Omnith on top. Fabled Passage. Trigger. Crag Fabled Passage. We gotta be more aggressive. I don't think we can wait a turn. Get a Forest. Ooh, Chandra on top. That is not a bad one to have on top. Go attacking. Okay. Hopefully they can't make 4/4s, and I guess they have some 4 toughness stuff. Let me see, Dyphon. Lesson learn. I do think Professor of Symbology is the most on-curve lesson we've seen so far. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, opponent. Chandra time. Go attacking. I don't even know if Coco can save our opponent. Some Cody action. I think as far as trying to take the Primal Surge spell shift with Cody challenge, this seems like a pretty reasonable attempt. I think it actually looks like a solid attempt. I don't know what is opponent skips it up. What is the thinking with the learn cards? Am I missing anything with the learn cards? Is the idea of the learn cards that you can tutor one up from the sideboard if you draw a spell shift and spell shift it? That would make some amount of sense. Although, I guess that means you drew your 1 spell shift, which is probably not super likely. For Cody. Oh, so you can tutor it up. Cody. Cast one of the lessons to hit the spell shift, to hit the Primal Surge. Okay, I like it. That's pretty hilarious. I like how many new cards are in it. Wait, you can recast them if you get them in your Rest in Peace graveyard. Wait, I don't think lessons work like that. I'm pretty sure outside the game is just your sideboard at this point. Wait. Yeah, it used to be. It used to be that outside the game included exile. But I don't believe it does. Karn is a little bit unique because Karn explicitly says, Well, that's interesting. 0 lands slash 3 lands. Karn specifically says you can choose an artifact you own from outside the game or in exile. So Karn has like an extra ability on there essentially. But I'm actually 100% sure that outside the game at this point just means your sideboard. Hilariously, when it first started, outside the game, it literally meant outside the game. Like if you cast a learn card, you could go over to your binder or go talk to your friend playing at the next table and be like, "Hey, I need a lesson. I need a lesson. I resolved my learn card. Do you have a lesson?" And that would be legit. I wonder. I mean, obviously, it doesn't really work in digital, and it doesn't work in tournaments very well. But I actually think that would kind of be fun. Probably not in a healthy way for tournaments, but it would make Spawn Sire a lot better. When it's pay 20, yeah, get any number of Eldrazi from outside the game. Just can you imagine just going over to like the counter at your LGS and be like, "Yo, let me borrow all your Eldrazi. Can I get every copy of Emrakul that you have, please? Don't worry, I will give it back in a minute." But now you actually got to put them in your sideboard. Found it. Hits us. Passes. We don't seem to be great at making non-green mana at the moment. Could really use a red source for an Abrade. Oh. Oh. Alright. Not good. That's a blue source. Realm Walker. Oh, that's daggery. Yeah, this lack of red mana is going to be the literal death of us. It's still how Kitchen Table Magic plays outside the game. There's someone in our group that has a folder with one of every Eldrazi for Spawn. That is amazing. That is so sweet. Oh, 27, eh? You don't say. Opponent goes attacking. We're drawing a card we can't cast, and yeah, I think that's how it ends. Wow. Oh, jeez. Yeah. We should have ended a match ago, I think. Hey, thank you, Dr. Krabs. Yeah, we got a ton of mana, but none of it casts our cards, so... Well, kind of a disappointing way to end the stream, but... You can always see on the replay YouTube the spectacular aspects of the deck. So what do we learn about Reflectamentals? And the deck's fun. It's fun. Is it gonna rank you up to Mythic? Probably not. It just doesn't have that super powerful I do this thing and I win the game that tends to be the focus of formats like Historic. So we don't really have that I win aspect. Like I said, we kind of do if we get like Reflections and untapping and several creatures. The good news is the games when we win by a lot. And that's how I like to think about it. Like, sure, maybe you only win 40% of the time, but the wins that you do get are so good, they kind of count like 2 wins, really. When you actually look at it, like, if we could only divide them up over multiple games, they would definitely win twice, or maybe even 3 or 4 times. So, really, that's like an 80% win percentage. If your wins are so good they count as 2 wins, you win 40% of the time and still feel pretty happy with it. And I think that's where this deck lands. Probably a little bit worse than 50%. Reflections is sweet, although we also saw a little bit of the Panharmonicon problem, where there are some games, your opponent's on the play, they're pressuring you, and even though it would be great to get it down, you just literally can't afford to take off a turn and cast it for no value without dying. So that is a downside. On the other side, when you do get it down and untap with it, it gets really crazy and really sweet, but... On that note, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. Good news is we'll be back on Thursday with another one. So reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Cody Harmless offering donated to Tober. That actually sounds pretty hilarious. I might have to try to set that up for a future Commander Clash. But replay YouTube, you can find the old streams. Normal YouTube, daily spoilers, tons of content. Amazing Against Odds going up tomorrow. One of my favorites in a while. So check that out on the YouTube. And one more reminder that we have a sponsor today, and that sponsor today is pretty awesome, and they are Card Kingdom. And maybe you need some magic cards. Well, you know where you can get them. You can get them over at cardkingdom.com. Even get a free Scoop Soldier sticker. Just let them know you want one. They'll hook you up. They're super awesome like that. So thank you so much to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. You all are amazing and awesome and spectacular. So thank you so much for hanging out this afternoon, for having some fun, winning some, losing some, talking some spoilers. So yeah, come back on Thursday. We'll talk more spoilers. We'll have more fun. Until then, have a great night, everyone. A great Wednesday, and I will talk to you soon.